Apa lang ito siya. Pero Zoom itu no.
Zoom di palong chắc mình sẽ
Ano ito na mi?
thì cái này connection không nhân ngộ zoom đi cảnh download thế này các bạn này đầu tiên thì nhiều.
Okay, good morning, Hajra. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. We shall now. Okay. We shall be starting the inaugural function of this webinar. So distinguished chief guests of the inaugural function of the webinar, Professor KRS Sambasiva Rao, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Mizoram University, Professor R. King, Mizoram University, Dr. Ravi Kumar Singh, Head Department of Management, Mizoram University, Professor L.S. Sharma, Shenemos Professor, Department of Management, Dr. Ladropi, my colleague in the department, Mr. Suresh, System Analyst, Mizoram University, respected and learned experts, Pujo Songliana, MPS, Police Department, Government of Mizoram, and other panel experts of today's webinar, participants of today's seminar from across the country and abroad. It is a glorious moment to extend my warm wishes by welcoming you to this webinar on behalf of the Department of Management, Mizoram University. And as the webinar convener, I personally welcome all of you to this webinar. At the outset, I want to convey my heartfelt gratitude to National Commission for Women, New Delhi, NCW, for supporting this webinar. It is a glorious moment to extend my warm wishes by welcoming you all to this webinar. First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Chief Guest of this function, Professor KRS Sambasiva Rao, for consenting to be the Chief Guest in the inaugural function of this webinar. Sir has a busy schedule. Today also, she has simultaneously having certain other engagement, but in spite of this, Sir is giving his valuable time. Professor KRS Sambasiva Rao is an able and dynamic leadership under his webinar for a record numbers of webinar and also able to achieve new height of remarkable academic excellence by Mizoram University. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to extend my warm welcome to Professor R. K. Ngutin Kumar, respected Dean, School of Economics, Management, Information Science. Dr. Amit Kumar Singh, Head Department of Management, Mizoram University. Both of them have been continuously supporting the department in executing the various academic activities, including this current one. Thank you, sir. I also like to welcome our own professor, Professor L.S. Sharma, Senior Most Professor of the department, who are having the guiding faculty for all of the colleagues in my department. Thank you, sir, for joining this webinar. I extend my warm welcome to my colleague, Dr. Lalrupi, who would be delivering the vote of thanks of the inaugural function of this webinar. This webinar are organized and conducted for the general audience and women in particular, to gain insight and information that would remain effective in their life, exercises, and work. Each topic of the webinar was chosen keeping in mind the interests of the people and others. It is an opportune moment for the participant to get chance to brush upon a spectrum of exciting and benefiting themes that discuss aspects of cyber crimes and its related issues. The theme of today's seminar is cybercrime against women, precaution and strategies. Cybercrime is a crime, involves a computer and a network. As defined by our own today's one of the panel, Professor Devarati Halder, cybercrime against women are the crimes targeted against women with a motive to intentionally harm the victim psychologically and physically using modern telecommunication networks such as internet and mobile phones. Some of the cybercrimes that I would like to highlight are financial fraud crime, cyber terrorism, cyber extortion, cyber sex trafficking, obscene or offensive content, online harassment such as cyberbullying, online predator, cyber stalking, internet trolls, etc. The objective of today's webinar are to exchange experiences in protecting the people and women in particular from cybercrime. Secondly, to sensitize the people on how to securely use the digital media and legal provisions that can be availed. To explore the ways and means to improve the awareness of cyber safety among the women and children. I'm really happy that today, we are able to have so many eminent panel of experts today in this very important webinar supported by the National Commission to Women New Delhi. With us, we have the first expert, Dr. Yumnam Premanda Singh. He is the head and associate professor of Law, Department of Law, Manipur Central University. He is also the chairman, legal head and awareness committee, Manipur University. He has done his LLM from Nagpur University. He has passed his UGC NET in law as well as NET in human rights, PhD in law. Next, we have the second expert of today, Professor Devarati Halder. Madam is an honorary managing director of Center for Cyber Victim Counseling. Right now, he's a professor of legal studies, United School of Law, Karnavati University. Center for Cyber Victim Counseling is an online not-for-profit organization and a think tank meant for helping and counseling the victims of internet and digital communication, crime victims. Dr. Halder had won 2 awards in 2019 for her work on cyber laws, gender rights, therapeutic jurisprudence, criminal laws, and creating awareness on cyber crimes against women. The awards are Web Wonder Woman Award by the Ministry of Women and Children Affairs, Government of India and Twitter on 6th of March 2019, and TechNext India 2019 Best Faculty of the Year Award by Computer Society of India, Mumbai Chapter 1, chapter on 28 September 2019. We have a huge list of profile for the experts. This would be, I would be honored to read out again when the turn comes for the panel of expert deliberation, the timing. Next, we have the third panel of today's expert is Mrs. Bandana Burma, founder of InfoSec Girls, Bangalore. Bandana is a seasoned security professional with experience ranging from application security to infrastructure and now dealing with DevSecOps. She is the recipient of multiple prestigious awards like Cybersecurity Woman of the Year 2020 by CyberSec Awards, Global Cybersecurity Influencer among IFSEC Global's Top Influencer in Security and Fire category for 2019, Cybersecurity Woman of the Year Award by Women Cyber Jutsu Society in the category Secure Coder, She also has been listed as one of the top women leaders in this field of technology and cybersecurity in India by InstaSafe. The fourth panel for today is Mr. Binit Kumar. Mr. Binit Kumar is a lauded social entrepreneur and social activist with 18 years of extensive work experience in the field of cyber peace, cybersecurity, and internet governance. He is the founder and president of Cyber Peace Foundation and the chairman of National Anti-Hacking Group. He has so many achievements to his credit. He has received Asokam's Cyber Security Entrepreneur of the Year 2016, Top 100 CISO Award 2014, 2015, and 2017, InfoSec Maestro Award 2014, National IT Excellence Award 2007, 2008, Young Achiever Award 2008, and so on. As I have said, I would be privileged and honored to introduce my expert again in the technical session. The last but not least, we have Pu Josang Liana, MPS, Mizoram Police Service, Government of Mizoram. Sir is right now Assistant Inspector General of Police Headquarters. He has done Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics and Telecommunication in the year 1996. He is from Aizawl, Mizoram. He has attended various training courses in various parts of the country on cybercrime, e-governance, crime and criminal trafficking network and systems, Prevention of Corruption Act, Disciplinary Action, Disaster Management, Right to Information Act, etc. In terms of honors and awards, he was awarded United Nations Police Medal in Sudan, Africa, 2006 and 2007. And he has many experiences and awards achieved. So I would be honored to introduce my expert in the technical session again. So lastly, but not the least, I want to welcome a very important component of today's webinar, the participant, without whom this webinar would not be successful. I'm very thankful to the participants who have registered in good numbers. Thank you all. Now I would like to invite my colleague and head of the department, Dr. Amit Kumar Singh, to give his address for this webinar. Dr. Amit Kumar Singh.
Good afternoon to all, and thanks Dr. Giri for inviting me to give a speech. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor K.R.S. Sambhasiv Rao sir, respected Dean, Professor Nuthin Kumar sir, respected Professor L.S. Sarma sir, Organizing Secretary Dr. Rajkumar Girdhari Singh, today's honorable speakers, Pu Jothan Sangha, Dr. Yunman Premanand Singh, Professor Devbrati Haldhar, Ms. Bandana Barma, Mr. Binit Kumar, and most respected participants of this international webinar. It's a proud moment for the Department of Management that we are organizing a national webinar on cyber crime against women, precautions and challenges, supported by National Commission for Women, New Delhi. In today's days, organizing such kind of webinar is very challenging and a proud moment, as all of us know that nowadays life without computer and internet become none. And during this COVID-19 situations, we also see that not only talking to the family and friends to banking transfer, but all kind of activities becomes through the internet and cyber ways only. Nowadays, we are signing so many MOU or classes from not only from India, but from outside the country. And if we are conducting so many meetings through online, if we are taking such an important decision through the online and computer, then the security issue becomes very important. And if the matters are related to the women, then one can understand the sensitivity of such kind of issues, in which sometimes we take decision even without seeing the people or without meeting people physically. Cultural differences are there also. So gender issues or women related issues are becoming so important. Like we are entering in so many MAU and we are thinking to credit transfer. And if these are the important issues, then cybersecurity is very important. Earlier, when woman remains at home, we were feeling that she is secure. Only the crime comes when she goes outside. But nowadays, what is happening? Even if women are in their home or even in their bedroom, but still crime can enter, crime can take place. Because we are using the internet and no need to criminal to enter physically. So here in today's webinar, so many experts are there. They will talk about the different issues related to the women, and they will frame and develop the strategies related to the precautions. But some of the points I would like to also highlight related to the areas, different areas where the generally crime against women is taking place. Like harassment through the email. Earlier in the beginning, we were looking or we were observing that people were harassing through letters or through sending peoples, or there were so many other means. But now this is very common, harassing people through the emails. They are sending emails, they are asking money, sometimes they are demanding so many other things through mail. And this is more dangerous than the harassing through the letters or other means, because sometimes identities are unknown. And if the fake mail IDs are used, then it is more dangerous, and tracking is also very difficult. And another area like cyber stalking, where the people are tracking, and especially for the women, the criminals, they are entering into their chat box, they are tracking, they are identifying their positions and locating. This is also one of the area in which the women are facing problems. Then cyber pornography, most dangerous area. Even some of the women who are staying in their rooms or even don't know about the pornography, but they are used. People are downloading their photos from their this Facebook and other social media sites, torturing the photos and modifying the things and using in the pornography. We have to be very cautious and think about the strategies in that area. Another area like this cyber defamation. People are hacking their mails, people are making framing the other mails ID, or even in their social media sites taking photo and writing in the name of others. So, and another area is like morphing and email snooping. So many experts are here, like Professor Devati and who Jung Saliniana. How the strategies will frame, how the precautions will be taken, and people are here also expert in the making laws. If what kind of laws are required, generally IT Act 2000 we adopt, but only expert knows how they are following the act and how this can be implemented. Most of the people are common people, they use internet, they use mobile phones and computers, but how the action will be taken against the crime or what are the other safety issues, I think more than 90% people are not aware about this. So I would also like to request the expert panels to frame some strategy which can be easily accessible to the general people, and which can, I will also request the convener of the seminar Dr. Rajkumar Giridhari Singh to popularize these things to the ground level people. Because nowadays, even uneducated people, they are also using the internet technology and video call, chatting through the WhatsApp, but they don't know anything. So how these things should reach up to the ground level, that is the most important issue. The experts are there. I am not expert in this area, so I will not talk too much, but only my humble request to most of the experts to frame such kind of strategies which may reach to the lowest level of educated people, lowest level people whose understanding is very lower level, they can take the benefit of such kind of precautions and strategy. With these words, I would like to hand over to Dr. Giri. Thank you to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Amit Kumar Singh, Head Department of Management, for kindly delivering the very important and some of the issues related with this webinar, as well as the issue of cybersecurity that we are confronting today. Next, I would like to invite Professor R.K. Nguyen Kumar, Dean, School of Economics, Management Information. Sir, so kindly give, I would like to request you to kindly give your address for the webinar. Thank you, sir.
Good morning to you all. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor K.R.S. Srinivasa Rao, the chief guest of today's webinar, Dr. Rajkumar Giridhari Singh, the convener of the webinar, Dr. Amit Kumar Singh, Head of Department of Management, Dr. Lal Raupui, panelists, organizers, and participants. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak on this webinar. The webinar topic, Cybercrime Against Women, Precautions and Strategies, is one of the most important issues at this moment. I am happy to the organizers for selecting a relevant topic for the webinar. The speakers will deliberate from different angles, and I hope the participants have expanded their knowledge in this area. Human knowledge is limited. One may have rich knowledge in one area and may be handicapped in another area. Likewise, we may have some knowledge, very rich knowledge in the field of politics, and we may be hampered in economics or electronics and vice versa. Therefore, we all need to enlarge, expand, and enrich our knowledge in different areas. We need to balance our knowledge in different fields. Therefore, this webinar will be of immense help for the participants to educate in the field of the cybercrime. As we know that just now from the organizers, we are going to cover different areas in this webinar. Therefore, I feel it will be of immense help for the participants to enlarge, to enrich their knowledge in this area. I congratulate the Department of Management for organizing this webinar in collaboration with National Commission for Women. At the same time, I also thank for inviting knowledgeable persons for the panelists, as well as I also thank to the panelists for accepting the invitation of the organizers to be the speaker in this webinar. I hope they have extended their partnership to inculcate different barriers by educating the people. I wish the webinar a grand success. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Respected Dean, School Economics, Management and Information Science. Sir has been an academic guidance to all of us, to all the department of the school. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing your time and be a part of the webinar in this inaugural function. Next, we're very fortunate to have with us chief guest of today's function, our own Professor KRS Sambasiva Rao. Sir, so we have expert with us also. Professor Devarati is with us, Professor Zosang Liana, Dr. Imnan Premanda with us. So I would like to request to give you a kind address for today's webinar, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Respected the experts from different places, Dosang Liana and other Premnath Singh and other experts and Dean Faculty of Science and faculty members, everyone at the Department of Management. It was a wonderful time for me to be with all of you. And it was really a wonderful theme. The management department has planned to organize a webinar on cybercrime against women, precautions and strategies. It was one of the important problem, the social problem, particularly many people were suffering, and several times we read in the newspapers that several women complaints that their photographs were without their knowledge were kept in the social media, and it was being done. Even we used to get a lot of emails, fake emails to our faculty members from my name that you please pay me, please help me, like that. This kind of things are coming every month, and we are given cyber compliance several times from where this particular mails are coming to requested the honorable police department to look into that and how to control that. And we are, though we are taking a lot of measures, still a lot of things are coming up. But in this cyber crime, actually, in general, cyber crime may be any lawful, unlawful act, actually, where computer and communication devices are being used, Internet of Things are used, and just they to facilitate a crime, it would be taken place, and like that. It is several things that will happen through this particular one. Harassment through giving fake emails. So we used to get fake emails for want of money, for want of sexual harassment and other things, and even cyber stalking. And they say several things like neighbor relevant neighbors, and they do several messages and unlawful messages, posting messages, everything they do, and even they defame also. Actually, sometimes they give wrong emails for people to defame the individuals, and pornography. It is sexual abusement, and even sometimes even people actually mobile phones and laptops are also being used for sending unlawful things and social media. It is one of the biggest problem which is now faced, particularly ladies, women actually facing a lot of problems in this. And several of them, I saw in one of the movie day before yesterday, I by accident, actually, it was so coincidental with this. And the hero of the movie, actually, along with 5 people, were suddenly arrested by police, and they were brought to the police station, and parents were brought to the police station, and they were actually been arrested, saying that their degree certificates were fake, and they were actually 13 crores of money was looted from the banks, saying that going to abroad and going education loan and those things, actually they have been actually asked the levied the case charges. But actually, when it is found, the hero and other friends, actually they did not take any loan, and their certificates were not actually been given to anyone. But actually, when they had taken a doctor certificate or something like that, there is one racket going on, and that they have taken the Xerox copies of these certificates, and they have kept these certificates in bank, and they have taken fake loans of 13 crores of rupees money. I saw this movie in recently, 2-3 days back. It was actually there are many. There is no limit. There is no boundary. There are going on like this. and particularly women were actually scapegoat on this particular issue, and they are actually being caught in several things like in different occasions, and with unknowingly photographs are taken and kept in the WhatsApp and social media, and they were actually in Facebook and everything, and they are the respect of the women were actually being misutilized, and these kind of cyber crimes are going on increasing every day. And the training is very much required for the police people also to catch this kind of people who are doing, and how it is being done. And it is not in many places the training for cyber security and the cyber crime identification is not be taking place in many places. This is the main reason that the culprits were not being identified immediately, and they were not being punished immediately. This is what actually, if we start punishing some people, it will be stopped immediately, and many people will be definitely scared of this particular situation. And awareness of this kind of crimes and this kind of cyber security and this kind of activities is necessary now. And this kind of webinar, which has been organized by Dr. Girdhari and Management Department, is really a wonderful idea. And when I sent this webinar circular to many people from all over parts of the country, I was getting a lot of appreciation for the topic which has been selected by the Management Department, and they were appreciating this topic, and they were appreciating even the speakers also very well, that it is a wonderful very types of speakers you invited from different corners, and even from law department, police department, and like this many kinds of people were invited, and it is a really wonderful, and that is the reason why a big response of participants you can see here, more than 500 participants I saw. It was really good, and I always feel that it is a wonderful webinar and the need of the hour, and I request all the speakers to guide our people at even the police department by framing guidelines and what could be, how could be stopped this kind of cyber crimes, and particularly on women, can be planned in such a way that it will be a wonderful. And I request Girdhari to make all these findings and lectures into one book form, and or even the police people can be involved, and they can be guided by our computer people and collaborative, and it can be done very well, and as one of the best platform for curbing this kind of cyber crimes. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity. I will be thankful if the fruitful information arise from this particular deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind address, and being grateful for the department. We are very grateful to you that in spite of your busy schedule, you are able to spare some time and give this valuable presence and give this address as a chief guest. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to invite my colleague, Dr. Ralropui, to give vote of thanks for this inaugural function. Thank you.
Good morning to you all. I would just propose a very simple formal vote of thanks. Firstly, I would like to give thanks to our Almighty God for giving us a new day so that we could have this webinar today. And secondly, I would love to give our sincere thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor K.R.S. Sampasivarao, for sparing his valuable time today and grace the inaugural function as a chief guest. So I always welcome and support any academic activity which would enrich the faculty and students of Mizoram University in terms of knowledge and ability. We thank you, sir, for your encouragement, your overview on the selected topic today. Thank you, sir. Thirdly, I would express our gratitude to National Commission for Women, New Delhi, for supporting the webinar and giving us opportunity to host the webinar on this such important topic. We will always be grateful to the Commission for trusting us. Fourth, I would love to give the heartfelt thanks to our esteemed panelists, Dr. Yumnam Premendra Singh, Professor Debarati Haldar, Mrs. Vandana Verma, Mr. Vineet Kumar, and Mr. Zosang Liana, who in their own fields are very prominent and professional, for sparing their time and accept our invitation to be our panelists today. We could not have a better panelist than you. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. Next, I would love to propose a sincere vote of thanks to our school dean, Professor R.K. Ngurtin-Kuma, Mizoram University, for gracing our webinar and address the audiences today. Sir, we always respect you and admire your devotion to bring forward each and every departments which are under, now functioning under you. Thank you, sir, for your constant support. We are also thankful to our head of department, Dr. Amit Kumar Singh, who is very enthusiastic and never afraid to praise his colleague when we achieve something. Sir, we are lucky to have you. And next, a very big round of applause to the backbone of this webinar, Dr. Rajkumar Giridhari Singh, for his efforts and hard work. He had done several other seminars, including national seminar with National Commission for Women once. And I know this one is going to be very interesting too. Thank you, Sir Giri, for bringing forward this webinar today. And thankful to Mr. Suraj, our system analyst, Computer Center at Mizoram University here for doing all the technical facilities so that we can have this webinar today. And also thank you to Mr. Jacob, who is also another engineer from Computer Center, who is helping us today, right now also. Thank you to you guys. And we are also thankful to our colleague at Department of Management, especially Professor L.S. Sharma, who is the senior most professor of the department, for his constant support in every field. Thank you, sir. And we are also thankful to our colleague, Dr. Bidu Kanti Das, Dr. Lalming Lianarentle, and Dr. Kela Romoya for their moral support. And last but not the least, we are very, very thankful to our participants today who have registered across the countries for trusting us and register for this webinar. Without you, this would not be possible. We do hope you all gain a valuable lesson today. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Lalrupi, for your for sparing time and consenting to give your valuable vote of thanks. With this, we have wind up the inaugural function. I thank you all of you to participate in the for participating in this inaugural function also. Now we would be, without having any break, we'll now start with the technical session. For the first technical session with us, we have our expert, Dr. Yunam Premanda Singh. Sir would be delivering on the topic, current state of Indian law on prevention and control of cyber crimes against women. So I would like to introduce Dr. Yunam Premanda Singh. Sir is the head and associate professor of law, Department of Law, Manipur University. He's also a chairman, Legal Aid and Awareness Committee, Manipur University. Sir has done his LM from Nagpur University. Sir has passed out his UGC NET, both in law as well as NET in human rights. He has done PhD in law. His area of interest and specialization is international humanitarian law, human rights law, public, international law, and constitutional law. He has 15 years teaching experience, academic teaching experience of law in various law colleges and university in India. He has more than 50 research papers in international and national journals. He has, besides that, he has attended more than 100 presented papers and lectures in international and national level conferences and invited lectures. As a part of his recent academic contribution, recently he has delivered on United Nations Day special lecture on threats, challenges, and changes, the United Nations in the 21st century on 24th October, the year 2020. He also has acted as one of the panelists of the Law Review Committee, Law Review Consultation on Cybercrime Against Women, Do Indecent Representations of Women Act, Information Technology Act, and other prevailing law suffice for Northeast region, organized by National Commission of Women, New Delhi on 17 November 2020. Sir is a good friend of the Department of Management, and my own behalf, I welcome Dr. Premanda Kumar sir to kindly deliver his lectures on current state of Indian law on prevention and control of cybercrimes against the women. Sir.
Thank you, Dr. R.K. Giridhari Singh, the coordinator of today's national webinars. Then I also extend my uh, thanks to the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Mizoram University and the other learned uh, expert for today's webinars. So I think without uh, wasting the time, let me go to my topic one by one. And sometimes just I'm using slide so that there may be proper understanding among our young participant, future pillar of the nations, mostly students from the different part of the India. Even some students from my university also taking part in these very important webinars. So I'm using this PowerPoint presentation so that whoever want, I will send this PowerPoint also, so that that is a part of our teaching process. So let me start. Okay, management department is very active in this aspect regarding Mizoram University Management Department. So I also participated a lot of seminars and publication done by the management department. So I am the part of the management department, though I'm serving the Manipur University. So name of the title of my topic is Current State of Indian Law on Prevention and Control of Cybercrime Against Women. So actually I'm not starting, okay, let me start this word. That's a Latin. Verba pollen scripta manet. Why I am choosing PowerPoint presentation is justified by this Latin maxim. Spoken word fly away, written word remains. So I'm presenting by power presentation, then my presentation will be remains. So the student may use for their advantage. The second point is we when we talk about law, we always come to another word, order. Law and order is goes together. So that's a very important part. So cyber crime, problem of order. If there's a proper law, then order will come. Cybercrime will be prevented. That is the concept, law and order. Then another point very important relating with to this webinar is I'm talking about Indian law regarding prevention and control of cybercrime against women. So let me highlight the function and the purpose of law is nothing to bring justice, stability, that is the order we are talking about, then peaceful change. We need peaceful change here. So a lot of cyber crimes are going on. So it should be changed. So cyber crimes should be controlled and prevent. That is the thing. So justice, stability, peaceful change. So let me start my deliberation of my topic. So important thing is that unless until there is a strong legal institutional approach to prevent and control cybercrime, I think this type of crime will not be prevented. So strong legal institutional approach is the only means to prevent and control cybercrime, even in India. Then another thing is that data shows cybercrime rate is jumped from 2008 to 2009, 63.5%. So it's alarming. The cybercrime rate in India is very, very alarming. So rate is increasing day by day. So 2008, then 2009 comparison, 63.5% increase in cybercrime. That is not my data. That is given by National Crime Bureau report. So it means cybercrime is one of the important threat to the even existence of India. So before uh, coming to Indian law, at least we should highlight some important aspect of international law on the cybercrime preventions. So here, there's only one convention on cybercrime. International law is silent on the cybercrime also, but there's one law is there that is we call Budapest Convention on Cybercrime, 2011. Actually, this international treaty is Council of Europe International Treaty. But outside international Council of Europe also, they may assess and they may be party and ratify this convention. Okay, so till that 64 states have ratified and 4 states signed but not yet ratified. So these conventions enter into force on 1st of July 2004. So this is the only convention, only international law dealing of cybercrime in the entire world. And recently they adopted one additional protocol also. That protocol came into force on the 1st of March 2006. India is not party to this convention. United States is a party. Then, as per international law, these are the cyber crimes. Okay, these are the cyber crimes. What are the cyber crimes? Illegal access. They call offenses against confidentiality, integrity, and the availability of computer data and system, like illegal access, illegal interceptions, data interference, system interference, misuse of devices. These are the cybercrime. Then another form of cybercrime is computer-related offenses. Here, you may come across computer-related forgery, computer-related fraud. The last one is related with our webinars, content-related offenses. Here, you may come across offenses related to child pornography, offenses related to infringement of copyright and related right. They may call neighboring right also. So these are the main form of cybercrime under internationally Budapest Convention on Cybercrime. Then another is cybercrime offenses under international law and domestic law. Domestic law means apart from Indian law. Indian law is not covered, will come later on. So under the domestic law of different countries and under international law, cybercrime is this: offenses against confidentiality, integrity, and availability of computer data system that I already highlighted the previous slide. The misuse of devices, then cyber squatting, then computer related offenses, then content related offenses. In some countries, apart from those two offenses given under the international convention, they including this part. That's very, very important. Our youth are indulged in this way. Cyber sex, that also part of cybercrime. Then child pornography, that also I already said. Then unsolicited commercial communication. Then living in some domestic violence,
So has to unmute himself. We can't hear.
Sir, kindly unmute. Pemanda, sir?
Yes, yes. I think I have unmuted. Please check. Okay, because there's a so just repeating again, cyber sex, child pornography, unsolicited commercial communication, and legal countries' domestic laws. So let's go to the very important part. What about Indian laws? Is Indian laws is uh, addressing properly these cyber-related offenses. Indian Penal Code 1860, that is the main laws relating with cybercrime. Then another one is the Information Technology Act. Why I am saying Indian Penal Code is the main important, because most of the cybercrime are not defined under Indian law. So we are applying traditional law. Example, this is suppose in case of defamations, we have no cyber laws. So we are applying section 499 of Indian Penal Code. So means we are extending all those traditional definitions to the cybercrime also. Then Information Technology Act 2000. Then very, very important act, but outdated. This Indecent Representation of Women Prohibition Act 1986. It need to be amended. This is 1956. That also outdated. It needs to be changed. Then very, very important, protection of children. Then Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace, Prevention, Prohibition, and Redressal Act 2013. So these are the main to control, combat, and punish those cyber crimes. So let's go to the Technology Act 2000 and as amended by Act of 2008. So actually, this IT Act is enacted for giving legal recognition of electronic commerce. Though there are some sections are there they're dealing with cybercrime, but the main aim for enacting this act is nothing to recognition of electronic commerce. So that is the main flaw on Indian law. There's no law relating with cybercrime, except there is some section in the ITA. Highlight because of time factor, I cannot highlight all these things. Section 66A, that is nothing punishment of sending offensive messages to victims. But unfortunately, this section was struck down by the Supreme Court. Struck down means this is no more law now. Supreme Court said there's a violation of free speech and express, Article 19(1)(a). So this is Supreme Court struck down in 2000. Yeah. Then Section 66E, punishment for violation of privacy. All those violations of privacy will come under this Section 66E. Then 67 again, punishment for publishing or transmitting obscene material. 67A, punishment for publishing or transmitting of material containing sexually explicit act in the etc. and electronic. B, punishment for publishing or transmitting of material depicting children in sexual explicit and privacy. So I'm putting red mark. That is a very important, and we need to change. Section available. Very interesting things. Most of the punishment given under the IT Act for the commissioners only with fine or with both. So all those are made bailable ITA. So that is the things. So all those criminal for very important crime, that is a cyber crime against women, can be in the non-bailable means what? They bail, yes, they can, of course, they may get bail, but it's a discretionary. So there's So it need to be changed. It should be non-bailable. But unfortunately, all those offenses, mostly offenses, are bailable under IT Act, except Section 78. Very important. That in our panelists, the SP from Mizoram, is given to the police officer cannot investigate unless until he is rank of inspector and things. So cyber crime, why we are saying they're not investigated, there's no police officer to file FIR, something like that. These all are dependent cannot be done by not below the police officer, below the rank of inspector. So that is the thing. It needs by then let's go to the independent court. So independent is most of Indian IPC, these sections from the Indian law book, law statute book, because of one international convention. This international convention, 1923, International Convention for Separation of Circulation of and the by they amended independent court and added some provision like 292, section 292, sell, etc. Object to young person, option A in a song. These three sections are included, inserted by because they changed to 23 International Convention in 1947. Then recently in 2013 amendment is a part of sexual harassment. I think that is because of the Supreme Court ruling in Visakhapatnam of Rajasthan, 1997. Before that, there was no letters. Jewish, and they are not any example. Visakhapatnam case, 1997. Only in 2013 they inserted a provision under IPC. There's a for the women to intend to disrupt. Then in there's another amendment come for 2013 Act. Talk and only there is nothing different to or cyber anonymity, but we as a cybercrime, but we're extending this terrorism crime to the cybercrime also. Word getters or intended to insult the modesty of women. So these are important sections. Cybercrime, then internet, but where by virtue of extension interpretation, we're including what of child from this offenses to a very important age, particularly child. Child means below 18 years, including women. Okay. Simply we call POCSO. So POCSO was amended recently, 2019, and they that is an important thing. Then using child for pornography purposes, section 1340. Mostly POCSO provisions are not mentioned under the ITA. Okay, one section is there, but not. But so
Hello, sir. Uh, Premanand, sir. Okay, I think. So there's some connection problem with the expert. Uh, any- we'll wait for some 1-2 minutes to get back our expert. Okay, we get back the export again. Sir, kindly unmute again. You were disconnected. Now you have to unmute again.
Okay, let me come. So even storing of pornography material in your mobile computer, any system is punishable under POCSO Act. That's a very important. But storing for your private use for pornography material not involving child in your computer system, that's permitted by law. Let me repeat, law unless until it's prohibited is permitted. That is the law. Let me repeat, unless until it's prohibited is permitted. So there's no prohibition of storing of any adult content pornography material in your system. It's not prohibited, that is permitted. But the storing of pornography material involving child is prohibited, is punishable under POCSO. That's a very, very important. Please remember. Then another act come to my mind is Indecent Representation of Women Prohibition Act 1986. Mostly they are dealing about printed media, okay, but nothing is include about cyber internet related indecent representation of women. So because of that, recently also I recommended amendment of this indecent representation of women act 1980. Very important act because both in advertisement women are indecently represented. That remind one word to my mind. See, woman's body is considered as object in advertisement. Okay, even advertisement for toothpaste, even advertisement for uh, this Hyundai Verna, woman body is used. I remember one advertisement. I think this Berna advertisement. Woman is waiting with some indecent represented form with a short half dress. Okay, in the airport, waiting for Berna to enter in the airport. What is that? No related with nothing with the woman representation and the selling of that product advertisement. It means if you open the television advertise, all the women's come in advertisement, even not related. These are all indecent representation of women. So that is not properly reflected under existing indecent representation of women act. And the punishment also 6 months, fine of 5,000, 2,000 rupees. What is that? So that is all are need to be changed. But we have law, but law is not effective. People do not know this existence of this law. So it need to be see properly. So this is the Indian law on cybercrime, existing legal framework. Though this is not effective, that need to be changed. So next thing, let me sum up some important form of cybercrime. This is a repetition, but it's important, mostly in Indian context. So harassment on the web and the mobile platform, whether sexual or not, there's a prominent cybercrime. Stalking. Stalking means nothing monitoring an individual movement through tracking her online behavior, etc. We call stalking. The cybercrime. Then hacking individual emails and social media. It's happening every day. Account to obtain personal information that sometimes may link to we call doxing. This online publication of information without consent of that person. That's called hacking. Then impersonations with express intention of learning an individual to share private information, which can subsequently be used to exploit her or put her in the potentially violent situation. So there's a very happening cybercrime in India, creating fake profile women, happening in Facebook, WhatsApp, whenever, creating fake profile women with intent to harass by discrediting, defaming, damaging her reputation. Then another one is non-consensual circulation and the malicious distribution of private material, including intimate photograph of sexual explicit image or text, etc. Then publishing or transmitting content that target women based on their gender and is accompanied with misogynistic slur, even death threat of sexual violence, etc. So these are the major forms of cybercrime happening in India. So my last part is agenda for reform. Unless until we reform the existing law, I think nowhere we cannot prevent, we cannot control cybercrime. So my last appeal is agenda for reform. So my first agenda we need is India need to sign and ratify Budapest Convention on Cybercrime 2001. Those is the Council Europe Convention. But outside the Council Europe, we can enter also. So we need to rectify, sign and rectify this convention on cybercrime. Then in Indian law, nowhere defined what is cybercrime. So we need to define cybercrime in the Indian law, in a proper term. Then one thing is that we are talking about cybercrime, we are talking about crimes against women, but we are not concerned about psychological violence against women. This is a very important aspect of law, but no way Indian law is addressed about psychological violence of cybercrime. So it needs to be addressed properly. Then one thing is that cybercrime can be done by his husband also, his intimate friend also, or his in the member or family member also. So that is not addressed anywhere in India. There's one law in India that relating with domestic violence, that is the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. So if you know the domestic violence definition, nowhere mentioned about cyber-related offenses. So my humble proposal is definition of domestic violence under Section 3 of domestic violence need to be amended. Then direct related, another section is there under Indian Penal Code, that is the husband, relative husband of woman subject to cruelty, section 498A of IPC. So definition of cruelty need to be changed to include cyber related harassment should also be cruelty under the IPC. So that's my proposal. So in order to change and to combat cybercrime in India, we need two options. So first option is reform in existing legal provision. That simply I say there's a piecemeal approach. Nothing will help. There's a piecemeal. The another approach is enactment of new legislation, especially dealing of cybercrime against women. I call this a holistic approach. That's a best approach. So option one, let me say, section 153A IPC hate speech should be included. Cybercrime should be included, and section 509 which should be changed. We include cybercrime here. Then 509 also, I always said nothing mentioned about cyber-related offenses, so it should be clearly mentioned that word, and even explanation should be inserted in existing 509 Indian Penal Code. Explanation should be read as these provisions can apply to offline and online interaction. And the 509, my proposal is 509 should be changed like this: word gestures act constituting criminal breach of privacy, including violation of bodily integrity in a person, autonomy of woman. This is my proposal. It should be drafted like this. Then protection of women from domestic violence need to be changed, particularly definition of domestic violence should be enlarged. Then cruelty meaning under IPC section 498A should be amended. Then indecent representation of women prohibition act should be amended accordingly. There's one proposal, amendment bill 2012, but not yet passed by the parliament, so it should be passed. Then I already said most of the offenses under ITA are bailable offense, though they are cognizable, but bailable offense. Bailable means bail can be granted by police as a matter of right, no need for court. So it should be non-bailable. That's my proposal. Then cybercrime should be defined properly. And
Sir,
yes.
so
I think time factor.
is interesting. Like, but sir, so kindly by briefing in 5 minutes, can you just
Yes,
wind up?
right,
We can
right,
take
right.
up some
Okay, okay,
one or two
okay,
question also, sir.
okay, yes, yes. Then I already mentioned power to investigation of cyber offenses. Okay, is only given to police officer not below the rank of inspector. Because of that, investigation not done. So we need to change this part. The young person harmful is not relevant, it should be amended. The definition of harmful publication should be properly defined. Then option two, that's very important. Okay, I will sum up. We need to enact law. Even in the Philippines, they have the Cyber Crime Prevention Act 2012. They define cyber crime. They define all those enforcement and implementation, even the procedure matter. So in the same way, my proposal is we need to enact this law. Protection of Women from Cybercrime Offences Act 2020. Because of this webinar is organized 2020, because of the I put 2020, so that it may be remember. So we need to enact Protection of Women from Cybercrime Offences Act 2020. Then another is we should also amend another, not amend, enact another legislation. There's a Harmful Digital Communication Act 2020. This is my proposal. Don't confuse this. There's no act in India. We need to enact Harmful Digital Communication Act 2020. Then I let me jump this part. Even we have no liability for service provider, etc. We need to see this thing also, depending on Supreme Court ruling. Okay. Then coming to my last part, we should break the culture of impunity. Cybercrime, they are scot free. Okay, they are doing cybercrime and no punishment, nothing. There's no proper training of the police. Also, the cyber cell is not working. So we need to take separate executive body in the line of National Green Tribunal model. Then education, my last part, education is very, very important. So my proposal is there should be compulsory paper in the school level, college level, university level of cybercrime, particularly cybercrime against women. So in United States, there's one act is there we call U.S. National Environmental Education Act 1990. Everything is elaborated there. So in this on the same line, my proposal is we should enact one law that is called Crimes Against Women Education Act 2020, and this should be put in the education. So because of time factor, I come to my last page. Okay. So whatever I said, there's nothing. This is a kind of teaching, okay, but this is my not dogmatic answer. But my only humble request is to stimulate thought to our young thinker, particularly student, so that we make clear what is the problem. Problem is there's a law. Law is not enforced properly. They're not law executive are not properly trained. There's no proper education about cybercrime, and the women where to file FIR, they do not know what are laws. They do not know. So that is the thing. So thank you all. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Uh, that was very interesting and very sensitive uh, lecture regarding, because there have been certain legislation that have been uh, covered up, which have been proposed by our expert. Uh, yeah, it was very interesting, but because of lack of the time, we could not take up the whole your slide. So before I invite next expert, there are a few questions, but I'll just take up one question which uh, expert, I mean, uh, Dr. Premanda can take up. I'll take up only one question, sir. So IT Act 2008 reduce the quantum of punishment.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
Yes.
let me just read out the question. IT Act 2008 reduced the quantum of punishment for a majority of cybercrime. Is it one of the drawback?
Actually, that is a mention in my slide also. Because of time, I can explain it. Okay. In my proposal amendment of the existing law, I my proposal is please restore the quantum of punishment given in the 2000 original act means 2000. Okay, so most of the 2008 amendment they are reduced. Mostly, I always said less than 3 years imprisonment. So my humble request and the answer of that question is that we should restore original punishment. Not only restore, Even some section they are saying imprisonment up extend up to 3 years, or that they can be sent scot free, only charging some fine. Okay, that is not proper. The wording should be imprisonment minimum quantum should be given, minimum 3 years, and the maximum up to 5 years or 10 years should be given, and the with fine should be compulsory, not all fine. All fine means only fine and they may send. So my humble request is that because in our law, punishment should be deter the criminal so that he will not repeat the crime. So unless until punishment is sufficient enough, then they may do the crime frequently. So because of that, punishment should be heavier, punishment should be given. So it should be restored previous amendment and enlarge the quantum of punishment. And the one word they use in every section of IP Indian ITA is or fine or with fine. It should be amended imprisonment and fine. Fine should be compulsory. Imprisonment should also be compulsory. That is my answer.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Right. So in future also we have opportunity. We'll try to conduct sessions related with this very interesting and very important topic. So next, I would like to invite Professor Devarati Haldar. Before ma'am begins her lecture, I would like to introduce Madam. I just want to begin. I'm really honored to have Professor Devarati Haldar amidst us as an expert in today's webinar. Madam is right now Professor of Legal Studies, United World School of Law, Karnavati University. She's also the Managing Director, Honorary Managing Director, Center for Cyber Victim Counseling. As I have said already in the inaugural address, Madam has won 2 awards related with this cyber security. The first one is Web Wonder Woman Award by the Ministry of Women and Children Affairs, Government of India, and Twitter on 6 March 2019. And TechSnacks India 2019 Best Faculty of the Year Award by Computer Society of India, Mumbai chapter on 28 September 2019. Dr. Devarati Haldar has developed a theory called Irrational Coping Theory for Online Victimization, which is published as a book chapter titled Irrational Coping Theory and Positive Criminology, a framework to protect victims of cybercrime, in the book entitled Positive Criminology, the year 2015, edited by Nati Ronald, Dana Segov, Rollett, Taylor, and Francis Grove, United Kingdom. Professor Haldar is also the founding secretary of South Asian Society of Criminology and Victimology. She is also the member of Board of Trustees of International Society of Therapeutic Jurisprudence. She is an independent legal researcher. She has authored 5 books and edited 1 book. And some of the notable books include Child Sexual Abuse and Protection Laws in India, Cybercrime Against Women in India, 2018 and then 2016, respectively, by SES Publication. She also has a book on cybercrime and victimization of women, Laws, Right and Regulation India, 2011, published by IGI Global Hersey. She has also edited a book on therapeutic jurisprudence and overcoming violence against women in the year 2017. Another book she's also published on cybercrime against women in India, year 2016, by SES Publication, which has been published both in Hindi as well as in Marathi by SES Bhasha in 2019 again. Dr. Haldar is also the founder and associate editor of Scopus UGC listed journals, International Journal of Cyber Criminology, and International Journal of Criminal Justice Sciences. Apart from this, Professor Haldar has also published many scholarly articles on online victimization of women, cyber laws, child rights, therapeutic jurisprudence, human rights, and so on. If I keep on saying, so there is a long list of things. So, but I would like to do not miss some of the other notable, achievement for Dr. Haldar is that he was also invited in the Stockholm Criminology Symposium, the year 2020, 12. She's also an expert resource person on cyber law, cyber security, cyber crimes against women and law, online child protection, criminal laws, victimology and penology, etc. She has been associated with the National Commission for Women, West Bengal, Kerala, Assam State Commission for Protection of Child Rights, Maharashtra State Commission for Women, and many other notable institutions, including Manipur High Court, Northeastern Police Academy, Meghalaya, KIT Law School, Bhubaneswar, Rajiv Gandhi Institute for Youth Development, Kanchipuram, Tamil Nadu, etc. So, like, it would be taking a lot of time in telling. So without wasting any more time, Madam, it's very fortunate that we're able to have you with us. So I would like to now request you to speak on the topic, data privacy and women's safety. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me and for such a lovely introduction. I would not take much time. I would start with first explaining what is data and how it.
One
Sorry.
second. Dr. Premananda sir, can you just stop sharing your screen? Yeah, please. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much. So I would start with explaining what is data and why it affects women. When we see section 2O of the Information Technology Act, in brief, it says data means any information, or for example any representation of data, etc., any group of informations, etc., which are necessary for identifying a person, or for example which is necessary for making a person livable on the cyberspace. This is not the IT Act definition, but this is what we get to see when we explain or when we examine section 2O of the Information Technology Act. As Dr. Premanand has very elaborately discussed about the cyber crimes against women and the prevalent laws, we do understand that there are different patterns of victimization of women. And this pattern can be basically divided into three groups, that is sexual like victimization of women, non-sexual victimization of women, and cyber-aided victimization of women. Sorry. When we speak about from the end, that is cyber aided victimization of women, we have to understand one thing, that women are not outside the entire periphery of economic crimes. Women can also be victims of many other data infringement related criminal activities also. I'll give one of the very personal experience of mine during this COVID pandemic time. I have been asked many times about my health status, and this health status basically has been asked by numerous persons. Now this health status or the health data that has been asked by numerous persons, whether they're authorized or not, that we do not know. Most often, as we have seen, that the phishing scams, or for example any other banking related scams or banking related criminal activities, etc., they might be targeting men and women altogether, or even in certain cases children also. Similarly, we do get to see that the health data related activities or the criminal activities may also happen to everyone. Now this is something which may happen outside the virtual world, but cyber assisted. That means somebody will be calling a woman or even a man and then asking about certain kinds of health related data, and these things, how they would be now connected with the criminal activities against the woman. Because if the person who is collecting this data is not authorized, generally we would not get to understand that whether the person is authorized or not. When a person, including women, when they are not feeling well, or when they are within the a framework of some kind of medical surveillance like what we are in now, what happens is that out of fear, out of concern, out of an anxiety to get well, we generally divulge a lot of data. And in that, we do get to see that the woman's medical history, the woman's family medical history, the woman's gynecological history, and also in certain cases, the woman's personal history, for including For example, the residential history, also residential address, etc. All things come up. Now, if this is not authorized, you don't know where the data is going and how the data is going to be misused. Next, when we are talking about, like, this is something, this is an example I'm talking that, this is cyber assisted, crime, data infringement against women. But this is just an example. Many other things do happen. The other thing that you do get to see again, falling in that last thing, cyber assisted, there are lots of other data repository, bodies. If you see section 43A of the Information Technology Act, you do understand what is meant by body corporate. That means those organizations, institutions, etc., who would be generating the data and would be also repositing the data. Now, who are these body corporates? When we speak about the data generation and also data collection, for example, every child, every woman, adult woman, or even a senior citizen also has to give their data for the schools, for hospitals, for any housing society, or for example, any other government machinery, etc. Not only that, these are something which are mandatorily given because by virtue of being a citizen of a particular country, and this is something which is government mandated data collection. But we do not know that how that data is going to be properly secured or not. Next, we also do get to see that there are also data collection by way of surveillance, and this surveillance is not nothing something like which we have seen as a negative surveillance, but by way of CCTV camera image footing, or footage collection, etc. Or for example, when the schools or the universities or the workplaces, etc., they collect some footage, etc., from like day-to-day business things. Or for example, any housing society also, they would be collecting some footage, etc. They would be taking those data. Do we know that where this data is being properly kept? Forget about what is done with our data by companies like Facebook or, for example, Twitter or Google, etc. Forget about that. We do not want to talk about that because since these companies are based in the US, and most of the time we do get to see that US GDPR, US General Data Protection Regime, or EU GDPR, General Data Protection Regime, etc., they are going on questioning about how the data is being processed, whether the consent of the data generated, etc., has been taken or not for processing, or whether, for collecting the data, etc. But I'm not going to speak about those companies alone. I'm going to speak about some other, these kinds of body corporates where we have to give the data because we are mandatorily we are supposed to give the data. But here comes the question as what is happening with that data, how the data is particularly being secured. What happens in such cases is that even there also we do get to see that there are ransom attacks are there, especially when we see the hospital sectors, the banking sectors. There are phishing attacks are also there, and there we do get to see that many of the important data, sensitive personal data of women are leaked out. Now, this is done by the body corporates, and we do have section 43A, and also read with section 66. They also say 65 also. They also say that in such cases, the body corporate basically is duty bound to pay the compensation to the data owner. And in that, I have in my numerous researches have also indicated that this body corporate must also include the companies also, the web companies also, so that when the data has been lost or where the data has been leaked, so the data owner gets some compensation for the reputation damage. But forget about the reputation damage, etc. Forget about the loss that a woman has to undergo. But the biggest thing is that what is the threat to life that may be generating because of this data infringement? As I was just mentioning about the data that has been collected by the CCTV footage, the data that has been collected by these body corporates, etc., we do get to see that these kinds of data may be infringed in many other places. For example, we have got to see that the clippings are now released on the YouTube. The clippings are released on XXX adult sites, etc., where the woman has nothing to do. The woman basically, I'm extremely sorry for the background music. If you can hear, it's my dogs. We are all working from home. I'm extremely sorry. Now, what happens in such cases is that when the woman is basically ordinarily traveling, there are some clippings that are collected and that are released on internet stating that look how sexy this woman is. and thereafter within minutes that particular data can become, or that particular information can become very viral, making the woman one of the porn stars. Just day before yesterday, I was basically going through certain YouTube videos where I got to see that, because it was a request from many that we have to flag that particular channel. This man, what he does is that, as exactly Dr. Premanand had indicated, and not only Dr. Premanand, but it is from others also, we have basically identified how domestically women are also being subjected to online violence, online data infringement, etc., and also online harassment. The husband has been taking photographs of the woman, the wife, not in any indecent pose. But what the husband said is that the wife basically comes from a village. And she's not highly educated. If you see the woman, you would get to see basically that the woman is not highly educated. But what happens is that the husband simply commands that you just have to lift your hand, and then you just have to do a sideway pose and all these things. To me and you, these are absolutely normal photographs, absolutely normal clippings or clickings. But those people, because there is also understanding like how you are seeing a particular image, how you are seeing a particular clipping, and there you do get to see there are hundreds of trolls, millions of trolls are there. There are sexually explicit sexual consumers are there who would be taking these images, who will be taking these very much vegetable kind of images as something which is sexually consumed. Not only this, when I'm talking about cyber assisted online crime, we have also got to see that there are, when we go for tourist spots, we do get to see that the tribal women, the village women, they are pictured without their consent. Their photographs are taken, and these photographs are also released stating that how beautiful they are, how sexy they are. And generally, these women would not get to see that whether they're really victimized or not, and where the what is the platform. These are some of the examples of cyber assisted online criminal activities for the women who are not accessing the devices, and who are not knowing that where the photographs are being published. Only when somebody gets to see them and somebody informs them that you have been victimized, only then they get to see. The other is non-sexual data infringement. Now, as I have been talking about the financial data infringement also, there are other data infringement also is there, that is sensitive personal data, including sexual data. Many times we do get to see that these data repositories or the body corporates, they might be having very less cyber security infrastructure, very bad cyber security infrastructure also. And in that case, we do get to see that lots of data, especially about the women, have been leaked, they have been sold. And here comes the question of even the web companies also, where we do get to see, even if the web companies say that our cybersecurity infrastructure are the best in the world, but they may not be able to provide the actual best in the world type of cybersecurity for the data protection of women. And thereby you do get to see that the photographs, the profile photographs, or for example the job profile, or for example the job related information, etc., the home related information, etc., and including the marital status of the women, etc., they are all leaked, they are all published online without the consent of the woman. Hence, in many cases, I do get to see that if you say that women have been victimized by cyber stalking, women have been victimized by hacking, etc., these are something which are please don't take it otherwise, which are discussed in the earlier generation. Now, this generation, we must be concerned about how the data, how the private informations of women, they are being sold. And when we talk about the trafficking of women, we must also remember how the data is trafficked for unethical gains. Now, coming to the question of this includes if any cyberbullying is happening, if any trolling is happening, there also you do get to see even small data information, etc., that also comes out, and these are all related to the sensitive personal data. Now comes the sexual data, which is sexually explicit contents, etc. In many places, you must have all heard about the deep fake porn. This is something which is something newly coming up. I mean, I would not say that it is newly coming up, but earlier, not much researches have been done by many people. Now, what happens is that this sexual explicit data, or for example sexual information, etc., about the woman concerned, these have also been misused, these have also been leaked without the consent of the woman concerned. And here we have to concentrate on section 354C of the Indian Penal Code, read with section 66E of the IT Act, which basically says that if a woman consents for her picture to be taken, she has not permitted for the dissemination of the picture, that particular picture or that particular data, etc., should not be shared with others. Now what happens is that, forget about the consent, forget about the permission, etc., there are so many other sorts of data leaking methods that we have seen, and which has basically come up to what you call damage the reputation of women concerned. Now obviously comes the question of film stars. I know there are lots of debates, discussions, etc., are going on, not only film stars but also the celebrities. I was basically going through some of the question answers, and I did get to see there are many fake profiles, there are many fake charges, not profiles alone, that have been created against the political persona also. Now, please do remember that whenever all such kinds of things we are getting to see here, also some connection with the data leaking, data privacy infringement, etc., is connected with. How it is connected, for example, when we are talking about some celebrity, irrespective of male or female, here, as Dr. Premanand has already indicated, we have to also understand about the copyright law. There are two things that generally work. One is that whether the person has given the consent for that particular data and the picture to be used for public purposes. Public purposes means public viewing purposes, and in that case the copyright lies with some other person. But at the same time, this is kind of mildly shared copyright, because, or even the intellectual property rights, if you speak it in a holistic term, because the woman or the man, especially when we are talking about the woman, she, even if she's a celebrity, she will never give permission for misusing her photograph until and unless she has entered into a contract with that particular filmmaker or that particular content maker that she should be shown in a very much sexually explicit manner. Now, whenever she is also shown in a sexually explicit manner after she has given consent, she had actually written her agreement, she had entered into a contract, you would also get to see that these kinds of contents known as porn contents are considered as legal porn contents. And our high courts outside abroad, international jurisdiction also, we do get to see there is a concept between the legal content, legal porn content, and illegal porn content. Now, if we speak about legal porn content, these are viewable only by the adults and also within four corners of the wall, and no adult can basically call any other human being, including women or children, to forcefully make them to watch that. Neither any adult can basically, after consuming that particular porn content, go ahead for seeking some more details, data about that particular woman, until and unless the woman has consented for that. But on the other hand, illegal porn contents do not attract these things, because illegal porn content is basically illegal from the as we say, void ab initio. It is right from the beginning, it is completely void, because there the consent of the parties have not been taken, that is, the woman has not been taken, the picturization, the entire profiling, etc., have not been taken, and it can be consumed by anybody. But while considering all these things, now we also have to see that there are three aspects, that is prior victimization, data infringement, as I just said, that if consensually the data has not been taken by the data repository, etc., we do get to see that victimization has not happened, but still then some kind of data has been without any consent has been taken. Then during victimization, data infringement, this is something which is awful. This is something which is very much embarrassing and also illegal, because during the victimization, the victim actually not only gets victimized by her perpetrator but also by the criminal justice machinery. And not only that, by the news media also in several cases. Even though we do get to see that CRPC, IPC, IT Act rules, etc., and especially for the Children POXO Act, JJ Act, etc., all these laws say that without the court's proper authorization, no data can be published. But still then we do get to see certain informations are posted, certain informations are published, by which the victim basically enters into secondary or even primary traumatization. And obviously post victimization data infringement. Now please do remember one thing, that when I talk about data infringement, what the data that has been released illegally, unconsensually, that may stay floating on the internet even if the court has basically resolved the problem. If, say for example, the court has directed for the judicial custody, or even for the example punishment of the particular criminal, and some compensation has been given to the victim, even though in rarest of the rare cases we do get to see, but still then we do get to see that the data is not touched at all. So what happens is that even if the punishment has been given, the woman feels that yes, I have been compensated. Again, I'm telling it is very hypothetical, because we have not come across many women victims who have been basically reached to that stage. And also in several other cases we have seen that after 5 years, 10 years, that data has still remained there. Now what should be done? I will come directly to the this thing, that the suggestion and conclusion. We all have known about right to be forgotten, and we also know that right to be forgotten is maximum used for the defendant, for the accused person. In my understanding, right to be forgotten should be basically attracted to the victims' rights also. How it should be done, especially for the women. Number one is that when the entire criminal proceeding has started, it is the police who should see, even though there are channels are there from the web companies, that the police can approach the Facebook or any other web company where, or web platform where the data has been uploaded or the content has been uploaded. The police must see that not only the perpetrator has been nabbed, but also the data from wherever it is possible, wherever it is basically floating or published, etc., that should be taken down. And it should also be the duty of the police to see that the data does not come up again, or the information does not come up again, because you never know that where the data goes and sits. Next thing is that when the criminal, the court procedure is going on, if we see that, POXO Act in camera proceedings are prescribed, many other woman-related sexually, harassment cases, sexual criminal cases, etc., in such cases, in camera proceedings are also prescribed, and at the same time, the recent court rulings also stated that the perpetrator's name should not be used, including victim's name, so definitely should not be used, because this will infringe the privacy of the victim. I think this should be followed for all cybercrime against women, especially when it is data related thing, should be followed. Obviously discretion lies with the court. And the last but not the least, as we have seen for JJ Act, for POXO Act, the data basically is destroyed after a certain period, and also if you see the prison rules also, this is something which is connected with the restorative justice also. The data is destroyed so that the perpetrator, whenever he comes out, that he does not come out with the negative data. Obviously it is for the prison department that they keep the data somewhere, so that, and also for the criminal justice department, but the data is not accessible by anybody else. I think in cases of women victims also, this data should be either preserved in such a way that nobody else can basically find out that she was the one who had been victimized and by that particular perpetrator, because even though it is very, very important to remember that yes, a woman had been victimized, but if the entire scenario, process, consequence of that particular victimization comes out, it will be again re-traumatizing her. So it is only for the criminal justice machinery to keep that data in a very secured way. Otherwise, the data should not be made accessible to anybody else. With this, I end my presentation. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. That was a very important lecture. But I think, what is good for us is that in the panel we have one police officer also. The last note that you have given, I think that would be taken care of. And it's a very good lesson for the participant, especially the last part that you have mentioned and some of the infringement. But I would like to, paucity of time, but still then, ma'am, I would like you to answer one last question. Most of the question you have covered in your lecture. That is how to prevent identity theft. Actually, is it a failure of authentication?
Yes, I believe so. Identity theft can be prevented only when, again, we have to go back to the IT Act rules. See, who provides the authentication? You are correct, sir. Who provides the authentication? It is basically, we have to again go back to chapter 3 and chapter 4, sorry, of the IT Act, where it speaks about internet governance. So what happens is that there are basically mechanisms which are provided for securing, for first of all, to generate certain kinds of data which would be attaching with the profile of that particular person, and thereafter to secure that particular data. There are layers of what you call generating the identity, protecting the identity, and attaching that particular identity with that particular physical persona of that person. Now, definitely, we cannot roam around with a GIS or GPS tag on our head or on our body. That is violation of the privacy rights. But at the same time, whenever any data has been collected, whenever any data has been saved, that particular data repository or the body corporate, it is their responsibility to see that how better they are basically keeping that particular data in a secured format. However, I do understand that there are certain companies out there who have already posted, who had already shared the data protection mechanisms that should be done by the data owner. That means you and me, the original data owners. And that is the reason from the bank, from web companies like Facebook, Twitter, etc., they keep on telling that we do not share any data, but if somebody calls you and asks for these things, please do not share any data and all these things. So for this, I believe awareness again from the school level, and also awareness as you have mentioned about Dr. Premanand. I'm also a legal aid coordinator in my own college, and also UNICEF coordinator also in my own college. What we should do, from the law college perspective, from the university perspective, we should, through the legal aid cells, we should take this information to even the interior parts of the village, to make everyone, whether that particular individual or whether that particular village unit is cyber savvy or not, it doesn't matter. To take this to every pocket of India, to share that we are also responsible to keep our confidentiality of the data with us. That means that if anybody asks, I have seen many times that the grandson is giving all the data about the grandfather's pension account, because the grandson does not know, he's a minor, the grandson does not know. This must be done by all law colleges, by all free legal aid clinics, and also by any NGO who are working on this, and also by the police. So definitely, why should I leave the police officers also? Number two is that when the body corporates are also making these kinds of data, what you call infrastructure, it should be audited again and again. And audited does not mean that today, this 2020, they have done an auditing and then the next auditing will be coming after 5 years plan. No, that should not be done. It should be almost every month, every 2 months, this kinds of auditing should be done. And if after auditing also it is found that yes, there is some leakage, something like that, then again apply section 43A, apply criminal provisions for this, and make them liable for that particular infringement or the violation of the data privacy. And also, whenever any sort of data has been generating, etc., it should be seen that where the data is floating. I know that our police officers, I know our cyber safety entire team, they're very busy for looking after the cyber terrorism aspect, then spyware, then government related so many data things are also there. But we, that means you and me, individuals like you and me, we are also parts of the country. So I think if our data is also seen from that perspective of importance, I think we all should be saved, obviously. And again, I put this onus on the banks, on the body corporates to again make a very strong cyber infrastructure so that our data will be safe with them. Obviously, the consent of the how the processing should be done, that also should be seen.
Thank you, ma'am. It's really fortunate that we are able to have you in midst us in this webinar. I hope participants have been benefited by your lectures and deliberation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now with us, we have next expert. She is none other than Ms. Bandana Burma, founder of InfoSec Bangalore. She is a seasoned security professional with experience ranging from application security to infrastructure, and now dealing with DevSec ops. She has been the keynote speaker trainer at various public events, ranging from global OWASP, which is Open Web Application Security Project, AppSec events, to Black Hat events, to regional events like B-Sides events in India. She is a part of Open Web Application Security Project Global Board of Directors. She also works in various community towards diversity initiatives, InfoSec Girls, WOSAC, and Null. She has been recipient of multiple prestigious awards like Cybersecurity Woman of the Year Award 2020 by CyberSec Awards, Global Cybersecurity Influencer among IFSCC Global Top Influencer in Security and Fire category of 2019, Cybersecurity Woman of the Year Award by Women Cyber Jutsu Society in the category Secure Coder. She's also been listed as one of the top women leaders in this field of technology and cybersecurity in India by InstaSaf. We're very fortunate that ma'am is with us, and she has been associated with certain other corporate also. We have seen many lectures and events participated by her. So it's really fortunate, and I hope participants would be benefiting by her deliberation. Welcome you, ma'am, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here and inviting me to be part of this particular forum. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen, and then we can talk about the topic, which is zero trust, which people are talking about these days a lot. So I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So zero trust is something which people think it's a buzzword, but it used to be a buzzword, no, without a doubt, before the pandemic hit us. This term was started doing the rounds around 10 years back, when somebody from Forrester actually coined this term called zero trust. But what this is all about, like, I don't trust at all, or what should I do? So let's deep dive and talk more about it. So most of the things Dr. Rajkumar has mentioned, so I'm not going to speak about it. And I'll move to the next slide. So this is what traditional security model is. If I talk about security models in an organization or anywhere, we used to think anyone within the organization sitting on the computer in the office is all good, and anyone outside, they are a threat to our organization. Even for that matter, college, let's say college has some labs, and within the lab there is a particular class that does the project, and during that period they are all good, they're not posing any risk. And anyone who comes from outside the university in the lab, they might pose risks to our labs. They might install some malwares, some ransomwares, or anything. So when we trust insiders, what about insider threats? Like if somebody brings a USB and connects to a lab, and that has a malware in it, that can actually spread across the lab. And if we only have one door wherein only the people inside the organization can get in, and if their IDs gets compromised, that will be a big problem. Anyone can leverage their identities and can flip around in different networks in the organization. And we say that we are protecting everything from the outsiders. What about when we don't protect the critical assets? Because we don't know who the critical assets are, what the critical assets are. A lot of times when we have a lot of environments, and we have things spread across. So in the old model, what used to happen, network packet firewalls were there to protect and tightly control the networks. So all the traffic could be tracked back and can be marked as inside and outside traffic. But this has changed as the workforce have moved outside the traditional office premises. Like right now, we are all working from home. We don't have the four walls. I am sitting at my home, and if you can see that I have a virtual background, like even I can morph it as like I'm sitting in an office. I keep doing it, especially for my official meetings. I use virtual backgrounds a lot, like I'm sitting in office, so that I feel that yes, I'm in an office. But if I talk about the real world, when we are dealing with a lot of data, especially the organization's data, and think about, we go for a lot of business trips, and we use systems which are office provided. So what can go wrong with them? Now, in the old system, we have a public firewall, we have a private firewall, we have an insider firewall, and then we have a DMZ zone. So every zone is protected via firewall, and we are thinking that it's everything is good. And then we have some IDS, IPS, we have vulnerability scanners and whatnot. But if we don't protect them well, we can be in trouble. Think about, we now all live in a world of advanced persistent threats, where they can target your user credentials, they can send phishing emails, and they can do whatnot. And we have heard about ransomwares. Like, especially if I talk about a couple of years back, WannaCry hit us really bad. And then people, even the normal person at home, and even the old age people, they got to know, okay, there's something about cybersecurity that exists. So today's environment is totally different. And just before the session, there was a question on access management. So when we talk about access management, there's something called privilege access management. So organizations deal with a lot of privileged users. I am from a security team, so I can be an admin. There are people in the university who can be like lecturers or even senior lecturers. They will have access to certain network, but other people might not have. But if a normal student is able to escalate the privilege and send out emails to everyone saying that tomorrow is a holiday or your exams are cancelled, how scary is that? That's pretty scary. Similarly, things have extended to cloud environments, and it's also a big thing wherein we have to manage everything outside of the premise, and everything has to be on the some other servers in cloud. So uh, does the traditional security model really work? I would say it works to an extent, but it does not serve the purpose really well in the kind of environment that we are in. The current landscape is that we don't have a perimetry. We can be logging in from anywhere and everywhere. Talk about lecturers, talk about professors, talk about us. Like, we all are working from home, over the VPN, from home network, from laptops. Even I'll tell you. Days back, something happened to my laptop and it stopped working. And when it stopped working, uh, I told the teams that yes, this is something the problem, but should I stop working? I started working from my personal laptop. Now there must be some things that might be going into my personal laptop, actually, that can create a huge concern for an organization. And similarly, when we all are talking about going digital, right now this lecture is happening digitally, like everyone is logged in from different parts of India, and sitting mostly from their home or from certain locations where they feel that yes, we are safe and we can actually connect to our network. So we are spending more and more money on cyber security each year. Actually, that's happening. Everyone is getting aware about that, yes, cybersecurity is the need of the hour. But we are actually becoming less secure. Like, we are seeing the breaches. Why that's happening? So zero trust provides it's a better framework to look at cybersecurity and rethink the way we are doing security or cybersecurity. If I tell you that there are like the breach statistics, so if you see, look at the screen, it's 6 trillion. Now, this is the number which is forecasted by cybersecurity ventures for the cyber crime cost. And that will be by 2021. And right now, it's half the number. Now, when that's going to be increasing that, or I would say it might have increased, because we all are online, we all are connected to our relatives, our friends, everyone online. And similarly, if I talk about average cost of a data breach, which is 3.62 million. That's a huge number. And that's by Ponemon Research, which conduct like research every year that what's the cybercrime cost, how much we are concentrating, or what exactly is actually creating all these concerns. So 80% of the data breaches happen because of privilege access abuse. Now, if that's the number of breaches that are happening because of privilege access abuse, why not start maintaining the identities right and taking care of our environment well? And this figure actually comes despite of the organization spending more and more money on their cybersecurity efforts. It's not that the organizations are not doing it, they are doing it. But that's worrisome picture, that the companies that are getting breached, they're not getting breached once but 4 5 times. So when we are spending more and more money, why are we not becoming more secure? So there must be some kind of model that we need to adopt to start off with. And if I have to tell you that, can we trust the client? So client is us, users, or any organization who's serving to the users. So users who log into the organization or web application, they are called client. Can we trust them? No. We have seen that the users sometimes create certain attacks that are a problem. Similarly, for servers, can we trust the servers? No, we cannot trust the servers. Similarly, can we say that we can trust the complete network? No. I have seen the organizations, companies, colleges, the hospitals networks getting breached, right? So that can get breached. So what should we do? Not trust? Or when I say that I trust, always verify? No, that methodology doesn't work at all. Now the new methodology, or if I talk about with zero trust, it flips the mantra which used to be there, the trust but verify. Like, I am going to trust you, but I will check all the aspects about you. But if you tell me, if you miss telling me some aspects, then it's a big problem. So for zero trust, it says don't trust and always verify. And similarly for organizations, they actually, when they start adopting it, it becomes really important. Like right now, if I say that I am using my home laptop, then organization can validate the device. They see that if I have a firewall on my system, if I have an antivirus on my system, there are certain settings which organization can deploy, and then I can use my personal systems as well. Similarly, if I am a developer who develops or codes an application, do I need to have access to the site which is live, where all the users are logging in? No, not at all. So I can control all of this. And if I specifically call upon the access management controls, so earlier we were dealing with access control list. This is inside, this is outside. Then we started talking about role-based access control, that this is your role, only this access you should have. But then that also got mixed. If I moved to some other department, my role still was there. So I could still access everything and anything with the previous access. So to give you an example, let's say there's a lecturer who works for a computer science department or for MCA, and they move to computer science department. Like they flip the departments because they have good knowledge on IT, and they are just moving across the departments. When they are moving across the departments from one department, when they move to other department, their access is still there to all the resources with that department. Is there a breach of role-based access control? Absolutely, that is. So then came principles of least privilege, that only if you are allowed to access this thing, you should only access this thing. Now with zero trust, it says that you should have principles of least privilege, you should have role-based access control, but that too with the right intent, with the right kind of access. Now, so the old model was, oh, you are in the network, we are going to trust you. But the new model says, never trust and always verify. And zero trust also advocates the creation of different zones, segmentations to control the different environments. Now, let me give you a bit of technical aspects of zero trust, like how exactly zero trust architecture span across in an organization. And there must be, I'm sure, one question, especially for the university students, that why are we speaking about it? Like what exactly it is, and why is it important for students? Now students, especially from the IT department or from computer science, from electronics, they must be going and working in the environments. Now when they will work in the corporate environment, the things that you study, actually they don't look the same when you are actually working on it. There must be some technicalities that will be different, which you learn on the job. That happened to me. And with zero trust architecture, it's exactly the same, that you should understand the basics and then only you can apply it. Now, so there is a control plane which manages the smaller data planes. Let's say Mizoram University has 10 different buildings. Now 10 different buildings has different students, different departments, but then there is one main office from where all the departments are being managed. Now there, if there is a breach in one of the departments, are we going to just separate it? No, we are not going to separate it. So we have to manage that, we have to support that department, and we have to get it up and running as soon as possible. Similarly, when zero trust applies to one building, it applies to the whole organization. We cannot say that it's only we have secured one building and we are all good. It is the organization that plays a role. So here, when you have like different servers, app servers, PCI servers, or untrusted client, load balancers, everything, so control plane manages the whole data plane like smaller chunks, and then those smaller chunks give us a good visibility that what could go wrong, where is the threat vector, where is the problem, which servers might create problems. Now, can we attain the zero trust in the cloud? Absolutely. Because when you go to cloud, the first thing that you get is the a page which actually asks you to log in. That's only when you are able to create your cloud servers, your network, and everything else in the cloud. Now, if you don't manage your user account in the cloud, is it a big problem? Absolutely, that's a big problem. I'll tell you a thing wherein I was working on some cloud accounts, and this is not recent, but this is like a while back when I was just getting started with the cloud accounts. And I got to know that the cloud account has one main account, which is called the master account or a root account. And then there are sub accounts that you can create. And if you have a live website, let's say Mizoram University website, and that's running on root account, and somebody gets the credentials, what they can do, they can bring down the website. Similarly, for organizations, if they're running the production websites, like the online websites on those root accounts, and somebody gets the credentials, that's a big concern area. Now, at the same time, what happened was that we started changing the credentials, that yes, why are you using the root credentials or master credentials for it? And the funniest part was that they were using the 6-digit password, or somewhere 8-digit. How easy is it to break the algorithm of that, or how easy it is to brute force those accounts? So we started changing, and we had to have that the proper privilege access policies. So it can be attained, because the zero trust in the cloud can be attained because you think that yes, the environment is hostile and I am going to build secure environment from the start, and it's a perfect fit for the cloud. Now, there are applicabilities. If I talk about, we have so many applications all around running. Like we have private apps in the cloud. We have SaaS applications. Now, SaaS applications are nothing but security as a software as a service. I'm thinking why I'm thinking security. Now, software as a service application, wherein you've been given an application and you can go ahead and start using it. You don't have to think about what will be the hardware behind the application, what will be running on that hardware. You would just see the interface and you will log in. Now, I am in the cloud is very, very important. And at the same time, people have started talking about DevOps is something really, really important, wherein uh, we want everything to be on the internet as soon as possible. So we have to have some way to automate. We have to make sure that everything that's going on the cloud is the way the client wants. So for that, we need to make sure that we are secure also, because if we don't have security flavor to it, if somebody brings the application down, even though it looks as good as you think or you've imagined, or if you think that it is better than what you imagined, would not suffice it. So we need to be very sure that uh, that we understand who, what, when, where, why, and how the application is being accessed. Because if we don't monitor it, if we don't know what our micro parameters are, we will never be able to detect the unauthorized users, and we cannot prevent the users, the malicious users, from exfiltrating the sensitive data. Think about malicious users getting all the users, or all the students of Mizoram University. How scary is that? It's very much scary. So that's when this thing, zero trust is not just for an organization, for everywhere, and it's a concept that can be adopted anywhere. So the first, wherein we need to understand what is our restricted data. Like, we need to categorize the data. We need to understand which is public, private, confidential, or we need to make sure that this data should not be accessible to anyone and everyone. I have seen cases wherein the private data or the confidential data is sometimes public, and then non-confidential data, or which does not need to be safeguarded, which is already public, is being encrypted and saved somewhere. So it's very, very important to understand our own data, that what needs to be secure, where exactly needs to be secure. And we've been talking about least privilege. So what all things we could do? So we need to authenticate the users and verify on all the access whenever they're trying to access the environment. We can automate the rules and policies baseline, that if this user logs in, this will have only access to this particular environment. Or if a user comes from a particular group, they will, or from particular department, they will only have access to this particular server. We can have granular, like minutest role based access control, that this person is only from this department, they will only be able to download the assignments for this particular subject, and not anything and everything. And there's something called just in time privilege access. Now what is that? Now just in time, like if I need the access for one day, I will only be given access to one day and not more than that. And after the one day is over, the access will be revoked automatically. And especially if I say that, how many of you have multiple accounts? If I have like accounts on so many social media sites. I have my own Gmail accounts which are multiple for different purposes. Like, I am that security paranoid, and I have those accounts secure with multi-factor authentication. Like, I am that much, like, if I log in from a different location on my Gmail account, even from a different network on the same device, it asks my credentials, or it asks me to provide the authorization. Like, it sends a message on my phone that click yes and type this number, and then you will be authorized. So this kind of access is needed at the moment. And now organizations are moving towards context aware access. Now, what is this context aware access? You might already have heard about something called, like, if you move location. Right now I'm sitting in Bangalore, and suddenly if I start accessing the this particular link from different location, like even this meeting invite from Delhi, and in like 5 minutes, can I do that? Or if I am logged in from Mizoram University in Mizoram itself, and suddenly I start logging in from Delhi, from Pune, or from US, is it possible? No, it's not possible. Theoretically, I can say that yes, I want to go to this place, and it's been so long that I've not traveled. But practically, it's not possible. So context aware access talks about that, that how users are flipping or switching the locations, whether the user is credentials are being used from a location which is marked as not so secure location. And if user is changing devices very frequently, if user is logging in from a new device or altogether, so all these things comes under context aware access, where the organization is building the context from where, what location, what you're doing, everything. And then we build on top of it, we provide that yes, this is the kind of security is needed. Now another important thing is network segmentation. We all so network segmentation and monitoring. So this is very very important, that if we have smaller networks, they're easy to monitor, and the threats will be monitored easily, and you'll have a good view of it. And now when we are monitoring, when we monitor if we don't monitor the right servers, that's also a big problem. So analyzing that is one important aspect that we need to be considering. Now at the same time, when we say we are monitoring but we don't keep the audit logs, or we don't keep the logs for a period of, let's say, 1 year, or even more than that. So when we don't keep them, how would you go back and check if something has happened to the organization or even the college, and that is not detected for another 2 months? And if that's not being done and the logs are not there, how will you detect who did what and where? Is it possible? No, not at all. And there has to be an automation that needs to be in place to detect all these alerts, and then events have to be managed. So a good logging and monitoring mechanism has to be there. Now, all of this has to be managed with the right kind of network management and policies. So micro segmentation is very, very important to understand, defining the perimeters, defining the architecture, defining the policies. Um, I'll tell you one interesting aspect. So for organization, we started using our phones. Like I am using my emails on phone a lot of times, even Slack and whatnot. So password policies are very, very important. At the same time, if I don't have the right kind of policies for my phone, I can download anything and everything from my organization on my phone. So that can be a big concern area for the organization. So that's when policies and procedures comes into picture. And what kind of remote access I have. um, Now at the same time, think about right now, we might not be traveling, but we used to travel a lot. And at the airports, we have a habit of connecting to the public wi-fi. Do you do that? I have done it a lot of times. But those public wi-fi's, if let's say there is a malicious actor and then they say that now they create a hotspot and you connect to that open hotspot, and your all data is being monitored by them. They can view it, all your passwords, everything. Is that a big concern area? Absolutely, that's a big concern area. That's when organization specifically highlights that if you are connected to a public wi-fi, public hotspot, make sure you access your confidential details via VPN, virtual private network, so that the malicious people cannot see what you're doing there. Now, let me give you a brief on what I have talked about around zero trust, because that might be a lot of things to talk. So, first thing, determine what we need to protect inside the organization, inside the cloud, because people talk a lot about attack surface, the area, the space malicious actors can actually leverage. Now, understand what type of data that is going to be stored, because it's important to understand the data classification. Then set up the security access controls. We need to consider that if we are monitoring something, we are monitoring the right kind of environment. And sometimes we have things at home, things in the cloud, things in the data centers. So we need to understand it very well. We need to log it and then analyze the right traffic, and stay up to date on the security patches. There have been many instances where organizations have they got breached because they did not update the softwares. It could be because of any reason. It could be because of that they are updating softwares after every month or after 15 days, and patches got released, and then after 15 days they are pushing the patch, and there is a 15 days period when the attack can happen. And within that period, if attack has happened, what could go wrong? Your data is outside. Now, uh, so can we say we can trust anything and everything? No. And zero trust is more of a perspective. We need to start building on top of it. And that's what organizations can start doing it. And we can start building this architecture. Now, can we say that identity is becoming the new security parameter? Absolutely, we can say that. Now we are taking baby steps. We are all understanding that cybersecurity is important. There are many facets to it, there are many faces to it, there are many aspects to it, and we need to understand us each aspect step by step and start implementing. If we don't do it, we can be in big trouble where we might not be able to safeguard ourselves. So these are some references which are really really amazing, which I keep reading. They keep posting new things, and you can reach me anytime for this discussion on my Twitter handle or on my LinkedIn. I am very much available. Now there is one thing that I want to say, that this theme for this particular session was cybersecurity and things in women, so areas around women cybersecurity. So I've been working on few of the things with infosec girls, and then with OWASP, women in AppSec, and few other forums. So if you want to talk about that also, I am open for discussions, or if you want to share any feedback, I am open to it. Feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Bandana ma'am. That was a wonderful presentation. I personally have benefited. I hope all the participants have benefited with your deliberation. Uh, we have next speaker, Mr. Beneath. But before that, I just would take one question that would be nice to take off. That very question, I just read it out. These days, we keep our photos, videos, and other document in Google accounts. So my question is, okay, can we trust Google Photos and Google Drive? If we can, then how far? What are the measures we should adopt to keep our data safe on those platforms?
See, I totally agree that yes, we do safeguard our photos and whatnot on the Google Drive. Even I do it. But what I do is, if there is something which is not relevant, I just keep deleting that. And what best I can do to safeguard myself is that there are third-party apps. Sometimes from Google account, we tend to give them access. So let's reframe that. Make sure we have a good password strength. Like idly people say that don't use passwords, use passphrases. Like I have a password which is over 24 characters, but that's easy to remember because it's a passphrase. Like I can remember what it is. So it can be anything, that I study in Mizoram University at something something. So that can be as big, but then I still remember that, so nobody else can also guess it. And I use multi-factor authentication. I keep I keep making sure that I monitor the preferences, the privacy settings which are there, so that nobody else can get into it. There are things which like Google privacy, they say that yes, this is a privacy policy, that this is what we save, this is what we share with people. So I think we can read, and not just with Google, if I'll say any other application that we use. Like we use so many social media, and we've been hearing that this data has been leaked, this data has gone to some other organization. So for that also, let's keep keep tab on the privacy policies. And the first thing is that keep grouping your things. That's very very important in what you save. You don't need to save all the pictures. You can select, okay, these are the pictures that should be used, and I can safeguard them with a password.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Like there are a few more questions, but then your paucity of time, you won't be, as we have already given your contact details, whoever are required, like that can contact through your Twitter or even in LinkedIn profile. So thank you so much, ma'am. Like it's an honor that we are able to host you in our midst in today's webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Now with us, we have the next speaker, Mr. Vinit Kumar. So it's again an honor. We have a galaxies of expert regarding the cybercrime. So Mr. Vinit Kumar is a lauded social entrepreneur and social activist with 18 years of extensive work experience in the field of cyber peace, cyber security, and internet governance. He's the founder and president of Cyber Peace Foundation and chairman of the National Anti-Hacking Group. He's an alumnus of Cranfield University, United Kingdom, where he specialized in cyber defense and information assurance, and has studied leadership at Cambridge University, United Kingdom. He was also the Chief Technology Officer and head of the Cyber Defense and Research Center, Government of Jharkhand. Beneath Mr. Vinit and he's in several advisory committees headed by United Nations agencies and the Government of India. He's also on the advisory board of Public Interest Registry, PIR, United States of America. He is a recipient of 18 national awards and 13 state awards, and honor for his social mission. Binit has been on the front line of establishing and maintaining peace and harmony on the internet through his initiative. A believer of multi-stakeholders and the power of inclusion, he had led several joint efforts to fight cybercrime and handle international cyber conflict issues. Permit me to to list out some of the awards that has been achieved. He has been a SOCOM Cyber Security Entrepreneur of the Year 2016, top 100 CISO Award 2014-15, as well as in 2017. InfoSec Mastro Awards in the year 2014. National IT Excellence Award 2007-2008. Young Achiever Award in the year 2008. Indian Cyber Warrior in the year 2013. Civil Society Karmavir Puraskar in the year 2014-15. Karmavir Chakra in the year 2008. Rediff.com, Young Achiever from India, Protector of Nations Data, Digit Magazine, July 2006. He's also the member of various forums such as Cyber Security Task Force of NASCOM, DSCI, Expert Group on Cyber Security, All India Council of Technical Education, AICT, National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, and member of Advisory Council of Public Interest Registry at the United States. So it's really a pleasure for us, for University SS and as a convener of this webinar, that we are able to have you in our midst. So kindly, yeah, sir would be delivering on the topic, cyber peace and cyber security. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the long introduction. And it's real an honor for me to be here. Again, meeting friends like Debrati ji, Vandana, and also thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to be here. And I would also like to thank Vandana. In fact, she could cover most of the points. I was thinking I had a lot of slides. I thought where to cut on the slides. So thank you, Vandana, for covering basically the attack figures and also the opportunity that is there. Thank you so much. So I come from the Cyber Peace Foundation, and briefly, Cyber Peace Foundation is a grassroots NGO as well as a policy think tank working on all aspects of cyber peace and cyber security. We actually have 4 major verticals, starting with policy advocacy, where we work with the policymakers, with the UN agencies on how to make the cyber space peaceful and responsible. We do a lot of awareness campaigns with universities, with school students on online safety, reaching out to people of all age groups, all genders on online safety. Currently, we run one of the world's biggest campaign called as Digital Shakti, where we are training netizens on online safety and responsible behavior across India. We have something called as the innovation and research, where we are partnering with universities to set up centers of excellence. We have COEs in, again, different parts of India. And other than India, we have COEs at Africa as well. And connecting all dots, we have Collaboration Connect. We keep doing competitions, hackathons, online safety competitions, poster making, video making competition to engage students, because we believe that do's and don'ts is not something that generally go in to the young audience, but it is through different kinds of activities that we actually involve people into something good, into the responsible usage of internet. We partner with different state police organizations also, like recently, in fact, we did a month-long event with Assam Police. We are working with Mizoram Police also on online safety, planning a month-long activity again on awareness. Hopefully it will be launched soon. with Punjab Police, we just launched a 3-month-long awareness campaign on online safety. So it's just a pitch about what Cyber Peace Foundation does, and we align ourselves to the actually the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN, which is listed here in the figure. Some of the activities, again, one thing that generally backs cyber peace is the strong volunteer network. So students from different universities, in fact, people from tech companies, industry, academia, civil society, they all join hands. So even government, they join hands with us. And it's a strong volunteer network spread in different states and across different countries. As of now, 28 countries is where our volunteers are present. So now quickly, that was a quick pitch on Cyber Peace Foundation, and now I'd like to start with my presentation. And since I have to talk about cyber peace and cyber security, the topic is quite vast. So within the next available time frame that I have, I've already consumed 25 minutes. I'm going to be very quick on the kind of attacks and the crimes that are happening in the cyberspace, some of the current challenges that we have seen. So I might scare you a little, but let me promise at the end we'll have some quick security tips for you all to safeguard. I'll continue from where Vandana has left, so I'll not probably duplicate those points, but sharing some new points. So this is my favorite slide. Probably every presentation that I give, I use this slide because through this, in fact, I wish to show that the world is changing. What you see is probably the Earth, but I would say the new version, the version 2 of this Earth has changed, and the new face of Earth, and in fact the new map or the new imagery of the Earth is like this. The green dots that you see is all connected devices scattered all across cyberspace. So that's how technology has penetrated in our lives, and we are like on an average. I was just doing a mapping of my home, and what I found out that there are around 25 devices that are connected to internet in my home. I'm not talking about office, but in my home, 25 devices are communicating to the internet. So same goes with everywhere. And what we have seen on an average, 10 devices per home is actually connected in the form of maybe Alexas that we now have, the smart digital assistants, or refrigerators, washing machine, tube lights. So there are different things, there are different devices that communicate, and that's how it is spreading. Again, the picture speaks. I need not speak about the growing usage. In fact, you can see the users, the global users are growing. Every second as I speak, there are a lot of people who are joining, in fact, in the technology arena, and the number continues to grow year by year. The new technologies are in. We have Internet of Things, we have AR, VR, blockchain, AI, 3D printing, drones. So it's all everywhere. It's not just one technology. The best part of technology is it is not saturated to one area, but it is spread all across the country. But the major problem that it brings us is, yes, technology is good, but let me now touch upon the dark side of technology, which is crimes, cyber crimes, and going a step ahead is cyber warfare. Cyber warfare has already been announced as a fifth dimension of warfare, and every country, I would say every country is now preparing for a cyber war, because the next world war people predict, experts predict, is going to be the cyber warfare. Cyber weapons. Now, this is something like all the digital devices that are there can be utilized against you. The devices that you have in your home can actually be utilized, and in fact can be connected together, can be hacked, and a kind of a cyber attack can be mounted on some other. It can be on an individual or an organization or an industry. So anything that is connected is hackable. Simple. It's not something that I'll say the CCTV cameras are hackable. It's every device that is getting connected to the internet in some form or the other form is hackable. And this is what, in fact, talk about cars, you talk about industry, you talk about medical devices, you talk about pacemakers, everything, every such device is hackable. In India, in fact, this year we are going to touch 1 billion connected user. Probably we have surpassed. Vanna also mentioned this. So I'm not going to speak much about it, but yes, moving on to the new norm. So work from home and online schooling has become the new norm. And there is a recent report, you can just Google from Interpol, you would see a significant rise in the number of crimes. And it's there's a huge surge in the number of crimes, and it is spread across. It is not just financial fraud, but it is not just any kind of general crimes that are happening, but it is spread across. Some of the research, this is a slide that has come from our research team, and some of the key COVID-19 cyber threats that we have seen is suspicious domain names registrations. They are continuously on a rise. Malicious domains and URLs are on a rise. Online skimming, scamming and phishing is on a rise. Phishing from WHO, a screenshot, you can just see the screenshot, but that's how these kind of cases are on a rise. Now, recently we have seen cyber attacks on healthcare, because healthcare, there are a lot of labs that have been conducting tests. There are some of the industry houses who are working on the medicines. So all of these are under attack at this point of time. There are scams on the dark web during COVID-19. There are attacks on critical infrastructures, phishing related to online video conferencing. You must have come across like different Zoom bombings and issues that have happened. It might have happened at your university. It had happened with many schools. So these kinds of cases have been on rise. And last but not the least is the misinformation and disinformation piece, which is again on the rise. So what do cyber criminals actually gain through any kind of data leakage, or if they hack your PC, what kind of data they can recover? Now, this is a slide that I've taken from Google. So you can get this image just by Googling. So if somebody gets access to your machine, they can get usernames and passwords for online account, emails and instant messages, payment card information, sensitive photos and other data that can be used to blackmail you, email contacts and phone numbers, bills, contracts and other important documents, postal address, system configuration. So your PC is not just a PC, it has a lot of information. Your mobile phone that you use is probably powerful than a personal computer and has a lot of information there. So again, back to the same thing. I mean, you can see it is across the spectrum, from a needle to an airplane. Things are hackable. And like I mentioned, pacemakers. There had been attacks on the pacemakers as well. The new cars that are coming up, you must have come across. I will not name a brand, but most of the brands now are coming with the connected cars, with a smart infotainment system, with Alexa inbuilt. Now these are the things which criminals attack. And in fact, I would say in few months' time, you'll start hearing the attacks that are happening on the automobile sector as well. There was an attack recently. I didn't put the screenshot, but you can Google the attack that happened on the grids at Mumbai. Now, there are experts who say that the attack was a cyber attack, and it has been in news. So it's not just the foreign nations, but the attacks are happening on India infrastructure, ICT infrastructures also. And the smart critical infrastructure that are there, they are also getting connected now. Attack which was very common few years back, the WannaCry attack. Now this was an attack which targeted basically some of the computers, Windows running computers and all, but now there is again a strong information that we are getting that next series of WannaCry are also going to come, and this time it is going to be your smartphones. So beware. So whatever information, whatever phones you use, make sure that you protect it. Otherwise, one fine day you'll get this timer running, a timer of this sort. It might not be a WannaCry ransom. It can be any kind of a ransomware which can be used to target iOS and maybe the Android operating system. If you don't safeguard it, if you don't protect it well, such kind of timers will come in, and either you pay money or you lose data. And in fact, in some cases, people have paid money, but they still didn't get any kind of data. In many cases, what happened, people said, we won't pay money. The criminals, what they did, they actually took out some important photographs, some sensitive photographs and videos, and started blackmailing the victim. So that is the kind of crime that are happening. So WannaCry will see a quick rise in the number of crime. And again, one favorite image that I generally use in all my presentations is this smart kitchen concept. So it's just a smart kitchen in your room. Whatever you see, from lights to doors to coffee machine, microwave, refrigerator, dustbin, broom, everything is digital and everything is connected, and everything can be hacked, or a ransom can be installed in such devices. Now this is the underground market, what we call as the Chor Bazaar. So this is the internet chor bazaar, the underground market where you get all sort of services available for you. Not for you, but for criminals. They can actually, in fact, pay a particular cyber criminal to do a DDoS attack. And the costs are the rate card you can see, it's very cheap. If you want to attack an institution, just pay $5 and the attacks are done. If you want maybe a specific credential of an account, of a social media account, pay around $10 and you get that particular credentials out. So this is one major challenge that the law enforcement has today, is the dark web, which is the underground marketplace, and you get services of all kinds. This is cyber crime as a service today. You get everything from banned drugs to child sexual abuse material. All the banned goods are available on this dark web. Moving on is the online threat to children and young people. Now, this is again one thing that continues to rise. You talk about child sex predators, you talk about cyberbullying, stalking, you talk about CSAM, child sexual abuse materials. It's all across. It's not one geography in India, but it is spread across. Children are being bullied online, children are being stalked online, and sexual abuse material, which is a major challenge today, is constantly on the rise. We recently did a research, in fact, on various platforms that people use. I'll not again name the platform, but end-to-end platforms. And if you see the research report, what we found out that there are a lot of materials being circulated on these platforms through different groups that are created, which is again constantly on the rise. Now, these reports, again, I don't have time to talk about the report in detail. You can just go to our website, cyberpeace.org, and download that report. It has also been published on some of the foreign universities' websites and blogs. So CSAM's child self-generated sexual content is again on the rise. Sexting is on a rise. Sexting is for youths as well. This is for youths who are actually dating. They actually share pictures, images, videos, and then later on realize after the breakup that, in fact, the same videos, photographs are misused against them. So be very careful what data you share with. In fact, if you are in a relationship, be extremely careful about the text and the images that you share. And the last is the electronic addiction. Yes, this is again on a rise. In fact, and WHO also has probably mentioned that this continues to be a big problem now. In fact, these electronic addictions. So this is something that continues on the rise. Again, these crimes are being categorized on different segments. This is taken from a UNICEF report that CyberPeace contributed. I'll skip this and coming to the next challenge, which is the social media. Now, this map, if you see, normally we talk about Facebook, we talk about Twitter, we talk about Instagram, but there are many platforms like this spread across. Now, imagine a challenge for the law enforcement. The law enforcement, in fact, may get crimes from all these platforms. There might be criminals sitting on all these platforms. So this becomes a challenge for different agencies, in fact, to get data. Data, again, remains a big challenge. Getting data, what we have seen on an average, if a crime has been conducted from a foreign territory, it takes around 6 months for the law enforcement agency to get data under the MLAT process. So, but slowly and slowly things are moving and things are, and the process is being made simple, and turnaround time is also getting quicker. So these kinds of misinformation, disinformation during elections, all these messages, some of these messages are in Hindi. I would translate it for you. In fact, in some cases, in fact, there was a message which was doing rounds on the social media that Mukesh Ambani is going to launch a 4G Geo phone and he's going to distribute these phones free of cost to everyone. Now, people got the link, people clicked on the link, and then finally they lost money. They not just lost money, they, in fact, in the back end, there was a malware which got installed in the phone and they started intercepting all the communication that these guys had. So such kinds of crimes, propaganda is on a rise. There are individuals and organizations specifically created to make these propaganda messages and posters, distribute it anonymously on any social media, share the content to as many as groups as possible so that you can share the maximum likes, maximum shares. Generally, when you see, say, 10,000 likes and shares, you believe that it's a genuine post. But let me tell you, there are bots which actually increase likes and shares. So be aware of what you see on the social media. Social media advertising also is done. There was a case, in fact, one of the, again, big companies selling burger. In fact, somebody actually posted a misinformation that there was a rat which was found inside the burger, and it spread like a wildfire, in fact, and it led to, again, crash in the stock prices of that company. So such kinds of cases are happening. Another misinformation, I don't have it listed here in the photograph, but somebody actually hacked the Associated Press, their official Twitter account, and tweeted that there is a blast in the White House, and there have been several blasts in the White House, and the President Obama is no more. Immediately, the stock prices fell. It crashed, in fact, and the message, because it was tweeted from a genuine, a verified Twitter handle, it spread like a wildfire. Same goes with the recent hack, the Twitter hack. You must have come across many verified handles were hacked, and a message was posted where people actually clicked on that link and, in fact, lost the bitcoins that they had made. Deepfake continues to be a big problem today. It's a small video, but I don't have time to play the video, so I'll just describe. Now, deepfake is very simple. In fact, in this video, what we had done, we had actually made Jack Ma sit in a 3 Idiot movie. We have replaced Amir Khan, his face, and we had Jack Ma imposed on Amir Khan's face. So it looked like Jack Ma is speaking, whereas there was no Jack Ma, it was all deepfake. So beware of what you do. Different sari challenge, different kinds of challenges that you get today. In fact, the other day I saw there is a daughter challenge running, couple challenge running. So all these challenges actually collect a lot of information. They collect your photographs, and that these photographs can later be misused against you. In fact, the photographs can be morphed using deepfake. The photographs can be used to do anything. So be extremely careful while you share information on these third-party apps. Also, one more trend that we have seen, that 80% robbers check their Twitter and check Twitter, Instagram, social media before robbing a house. So be very careful. Whatever you post on the social media, if you're going out, don't just keep doing check-ins, because that could be risky. Be extremely sure of the people that you add in your friend list. Don't just increase numbers. Add people whom you know, whom you trust, because these guys are also active, and then the same guys can actually do anything to rob you. They are also getting techies. They're exploring new front-end ways. Now, some samples. This is a fake email sent. I just had this screenshot. You can send email from anybody's account to anyone without knowing the passwords. This is called as email spoofing, and very simple step. You just need to use an app, and that's how the email goes. So be extremely careful when you get a mail from a bank saying that we need your KYC details, we need your Aadhaar details, because it is very simple to get access to, generate these spoof emails, or maybe sometimes call spoofing is also possible. I can spoof anybody's number and call anyone. So don't trust calls, don't trust emails, don't trust SMSs. These are insecure ways. Don't share information on these particular platforms. Rather, you can walk into your nearest bank, share KYC details or whatever confidential information you have. Be extremely careful there. Now, this you must be aware, Jamtara is a place in Jharkhand, which is known as the cybercrime hub of the country. And this particular, in fact, I would say a small village. At one point in time, people were not having money to have food. Now today it has become the capital of the country, and it has been quoted across, I would say, New York Times to all. They have done stories on this, how this place has become a cottage industry for the cyber criminals. And these are the guys sitting in their home. They have proper call center running. They make calls to you, again, asking for information. And then finally you end up losing information here. So, and there are many, I just showed Jamtara as a sample. Now there has been a lot of crackdowns, a lot of arrests at this place. So the crimes have definitely gone down here, but many more clusters like Jamtara are coming in the northeast, also in the west, also across India. So be extremely careful of such guys. Again, how they do is call, and now what they do is they send you links like this. You get free Paytm cash worth 1,000 rupees. Click on this link. This tempts you. Like you might get a link suddenly on your WhatsApp or maybe on the social media that this is Amazon flash sale. Click on this link to claim 90% off on any devices. Now you'll see, you will find this link extremely lucrative, and you end up actually clicking on this link. And later on, you realize that you lost money, and also our malware got installed in your device, and then further it can be misused against you. Very common attack is the skimming attacks. So again, what I have is a normal ATM machine with a skimmer attached. In fact, the slot that you see here, the slot where you enter the card, is where the skimmer is attached. And move on to the next slide. You can see somebody is pulling off the skimmer. This is the device which actually captures the magnetic strip information that you have in your card. There's a black strip in the back of your ATM credit card or the debit card. So this skimming device actually captures information and stores in the local memory, and then later on duplicate cards are made. And it's very easy to capture the PIN numbers also, because somebody can install a small camera like in this is very dated way of capturing the password, but the new forms now available where you have sticky cameras, you have plastic, thin film of plastic layer which is attached on the screen. There are different kinds of attacks happening. But what I have in this picture is the pamphlet box holder. Now, if you watch carefully the next slide, you have an additional camera installed. Yeah, that additional camera is a wireless camera. Somebody sitting in 100-meter range can capture information from this. And this is how the construction looks like. Small info pieces paper that you throw in the dustbins after the transaction, be extremely careful, because in some cases what we found that these informations were being collected and later on card was being made, because it had the last 4 digits. It also had the account number which are sensitive. So always make sure that you tear off the information and don't throw into the garbage. One bad habit that we generally have is when we go to the petrol pumps or maybe to a restaurant, we in fact, at the petrol pumps, after the fuel refueling is done, we give the card to the petrol pump man, and then we ask him to swipe and get the card. So the moment we actually give the card to him, I mean, he or she can immediately probably copy the card information using, again, skimming devices, which are now very small. It's not big as you saw in the previous picture. It is very small, which can be attached to a belt that the person wears, and immediately he can capture information from the card. So please avoid also going to the restaurants, avoid giving the card to the waiter. Just call them, ask them to get the POS machine in front of you and do the transaction in front of you. Talking about cyber hygiene. So I have 5 to 7 more minutes. So I'll quickly come here and talk about how do you secure. Now this is where all the ways to actually kind of scare you a little, but now some quick tips that I have so that you can keep yourself safe is this. So how do you use ATM? The right way is check for skimmer, go there, see, check carefully. Is there an additional camera installed, or is there an additional kind of slot installed over the machine? So check all that, cover and enter the ATM PIN number. People shoulders up, like the moment you enter the PIN number, somebody might peep over your shoulder what PIN number you are entering. So cover and enter the PIN number, rub the keyboard before leaving. And generally, what I generally do is I press cancel button a couple of times, because sometimes the session is active. So you press the cancel button until you see the final welcome screen again. Passwords, one now also mentioned, I'll also mention, it should be something like very difficult to guess. It should not be easy to guess, like your dog's name, your bike number, your car number, but something difficult for somebody to guess. So don't use your wife's name as a password. Don't use your bike number as a password. Don't use password as password @123. And all these are very easy to crack. It can be cracked within few seconds. Watch what you post on the social media. Always think before you post, because it's kind of, it stays forever. So if you think you delete a post and it's gone, no, it's not gone. It stays somewhere. So be extremely careful so that tomorrow it doesn't come and haunt you, whatever you did in the past. Don't open mail from strangers. Don't connect to untrusted devices, especially USB sticks, mobile phones. One example I'll give, on the airport, you have charging points. Now, these charging points could also be risky at times. So I never plug my phones to the airport charging station, because you never know. I mean, there are different kinds of attacks in which the moment you plug to charge, immediately somebody can access the information that you have in the phone, can also maybe install a remote malware into that phone. Always encrypt your data. because when you are using a pen drive on any of the portable devices, because you might tend to lose it sometimes. So be extremely careful there, and use, there are a lot of free tools that are available, like TrueCrypt being one. VeraCrypt is again a free tool which can be used, and it is very simple to encrypt and decrypt. The process is very simple. Be conscious of social engineering. If you have ever given away a business card or a contact details, you are vulnerable. The mistakes that we generally make is we never back up our data. Addiction to pornography. Pornography sites are very risky. In fact, the moment you open that site, there have been several cases where a plugin gets installed in the browser, and then that again can be used, can be misused at times. Obsession with online gaming, downloading third-party apps without verification. I've seen, this is a practice which I've seen, that people go to a mobile phone shop and they give their phone that please install some songs, please install some applications in my phone. And I've seen the guy installing from his phone, from his other phone to the other phone, which is very risky. Third party apps are risky. You never know. Maybe a malware is installed. So be careful there. Transacting on public Wi-Fi or unsecure. Free Wi-Fi concept, free Wi-Fi at the airport, free Wi-Fi at coffee shops could be risky. Like Vanna mentioned, oversharing on social media. Don't share everything. Don't share that you're having dinner with a number of friends. Where these are led to kidnapping incidents also, where somebody posted that he's going to watch a movie with his friends, and then the chap was kidnapped. So such kinds of cases are happening through the social media. Using same password for all accounts is again a bad practice. Ignoring updates. Ignoring updates on your smartphone. Your phone should be updated regularly. Your application that you have in the smartphone should be updated regularly. Don't delay. Immediately update, because they actually patch any kind of vulnerabilities that are there. Don't judge a book by its cover. Never share anything online that you don't want to be public. Don't believe someone giving you a high-priced lottery over the internet. Emails from RBI, banks, and other. RBI is doing a massive awareness campaign, and you must be aware that there are many frauds. KBC, Kaun Banega Crore, there was a fraud which was running a few days back. Do not click links on Facebook. There are many apps on the social media. Know how much your wife loves you is one such interesting app. So never go for these apps. Or know when you will die is again an interesting app. But these apps could be risky. You never know what kind of information they collect from you. So just ignore that. Use a strong password. Get rid of old email IDs. Do not save on a little money and buy non-genuine Windows. I've seen people buying 100 rupees Windows that people share, in fact, in many of these marketplaces actually sell. You get Windows 10 in just 100 rupees, and also never go for all these because it could be extremely risky. It could have again a malware installed. So just ignore all that. Download only from trusted sources. Again, URL shortening links could be risky. bit.ly links could be risky. So be careful whenever you click on these links. If you download, there are sites like songs.pk, you can get free songs there, but there are no free lunches. Just keep this in mind, there are no free lunches, and a song can have any kind of malware again attached and embedded. It has already happened. A lot of people who were actually scammed when they downloaded songs from the site songs.pk. It's an extremely, I would say, a site which is something very risky, and you should be extremely careful when you go on that site to download. And same goes with any of the torrent P2P networks where you download movie songs and different kinds of videos. Be extremely careful while you do that. Second layer of security is important. You should have Google Authenticator if you're using Gmail. And same goes with Facebook and other platforms. You should have different kinds of authenticators with you. Get smart about passwords, monitor your accounts, secure your devices. When I say devices, it is all devices. Talking about washing machine, refrigerator, smart bulbs, smart routers, everything should be secure. Same rules apply. Strong password, update them regularly. Install a two-factor, second form factor also. When you go on the social media, make sure that your activities is seen only to your friends and not friends of friends, because that could be risky. These are some of the settings that you could do on the social media, on the Facebook. On the WhatsApp, please enable two-step verification. The screen that you see here, it should always be enabled. It should never be disabled, two-step, because you never know whenever you're going in a market and you lose phone. In that case, you lose all the intimate pictures and other pictures that you have. So always intimate pictures, it should always be a no. You should avoid taking intimate pictures. Second, geolocations should be off, because again, your geolocation specific information gets collected by the social media companies. Adding strangers should be a no. Update security setting on a regular basis, that should be a yes. System application should be updated regularly. Review tags and mentions. Login alert should be enabled. Login from public Wi-Fi should be avoided. If something goes wrong, report the crime to the local police station. You can report directly to the platform also. Platforms are also liable sometimes. In fact, if you see your photographs getting circulated to a number of locations, you can file a DMCA request, and the platforms take down such content if you see any of your photographs that have been shared without your consent. So file a complaint at your local police stations. And the final resort that you have available here in India is the website cybercrime.gov.in, which is run by the National Crime Records Bureau. It is a cybercrime reporting portal. You can go there and register any kind of crime that you or you know anyone has been into. Oh, other than this, we have our own YouTube channel, Cyber Peace Foundation YouTube channel, where we have all these small videos on online safety, different kinds of frauds that are happening, and how do you protect themselves. So you can reach out to our channel. You can, in fact, subscribe to the videos. We also are running the Global Cyber Challenge, one of the biggest hackathons in the world. So again, students who are interested in this space can log into the website cyberchallenge.net and can also participate and help in some of the issues, and in fact help in drafting solutions to some of the issues that are there listed on the Global Cyber Challenge website. We ran the e-Raksha challenge again for the students. This is closed now, but it will come back again. Again, for students, also for the universities, I would request that you should definitely refer to the book that we have published with CBSE, which is on cyber safety. It talks about digital citizenship, online safety, cyber etiquette, cyber law, reporting. Everything is there in this book. I'll be happy to share the link of the book in the chat session. And something that the students should definitely have. As of now, it is being translated into multiple languages, and it works. It's not just for the student, school student, it works for the college students as well. So with this, I'd like to end. Thank you so much. You can reach out to me on the following emails and numbers. Our website is cyberpeace.org. So thank you for your patient hearing.
Thank you, sir. So it was a wonderful deliberation from your end. We have benefited immensely, and I hope participants too have benefited with your deliberation. And there have been certain questions around, and most of questions have been given at the end of your PPTs. But even then, there's one question which I thought like would be appropriate to put off. So the question is, almost all the apps which we download ask permission to use contacts, photos. If we say deny entry, it can't be used up. At present, we are using so many apps for teaching. What to do with such kind of apps?
Sorry, I was on mute. So yes, this remains a big challenge now, but thankfully we have some of the applications. Like one thing that I use with me is a firewall, which is for the Android phones called No Root Firewall. So in this, in fact, if you install this firewall in your phone, you have complete access to the apps and the kind of permission they seek. Other than this, in fact, if you see an app, for example, if it's a bandwidth monitoring app, the bandwidth monitoring app should not ask you for your messages, should not ask you for access to the videos, should not ask access to the microphone. So you should check all these different kinds of privilege that is being granted to that particular application and turn it off. Like for iPhone users, they can go into the settings, and in fact on the settings they can actually give check what kind of permission they should give to an app, and then if you feel that some permission should not be given to the app, you can disable it. Other than this, like I mentioned, the app No Root Firewall is again a very good application which I use for my Android phones, and it works like a charm. In fact, you have complete access to that application. No traffic goes in and out without your consent. So you can make use of that app. Plus, now most of the applications that are there, like Quick Heal Internet Security being one, Avast Internet Security being the other one, which is made for the mobile phone. Through these applications, now they give you advanced features of, again, controlling what kind of data can go out and can go in, and also getting access to that particular privileges, whether you should give access to the privilege or not. So that controls are given to you in the application itself.
Thank you, sir, for your kind deliberation. As just to end up your lecture, like I just want to put off, it's scary, like to see the cyber crimes that we have. But if we are cautious, then we can equally take the advantage of the facilities that are being facilitated by this social media and whatever related with cyber issues. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you in our midst as an expert. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Next with us, we have Pu Josang Liana. As a speaker, Sa would be speaking on cybercrime incidents and prevention perspective of Mizoram. I would like to reintroduce our expert. Pu Josang Liana has joined the service of Mizoram Police Service in the year 1996. Service working as Assistant Inspector General of Police Headquarters. He's the rank of Senior Superintendent of Police. He has attended various training courses in various parts of the country on cybercrime, e-governance, crime and criminal tracking network and systems, Prevention of Corruption Act, Disciplinary Actions, Disaster Management, Right to Information Act. Some of the awards and honors that he have achieved includes UN Police Medal in Sudan, Africa in the year 2006 and 7. He was awarded the Police Medal for the meritorious service on the occasion of India's Independence Day celebration in the year 2016. He was awarded Chief Secretary Appreciation Letter in the year 1998. He was awarded DGP Commendation in the year 2018. He was awarded again DGP Commendation and Appreciation Letter on various occasions. He was awarded appreciation letter from IGP, DIG, SP on numerous occasions. Some of the experiences of Pu Josang Liana includes, he was appointed as State Nodal Officer on Cybercrime, Deputy Nodal Officer on Crime and Criminal Tracking Network and System Project during the year 2018-19. He served as United Nations Peacekeeping Mission as UN Civilian Police in 2006 and 2007 in Sudan, Africa. He has been speakers on cybercrime and its related issues at various schools, colleges, and other important programs organized by the government department and NGOs. He has been speaker on human trafficking at various schools, colleges, and programs organized by NGO, government organization, as well as government department, churches. He has served as District Superintendent of Police in 2 different districts of Mizoram. He was instrumental in setting up cyber forensic lab under the police department. He plays an active role in implementation of CCTNS project, government flagship program in Mizoram during 2009 to 13 and 2018-19. So I now welcome Pu Josang Liana to deliver on the topic cybercrime, incidents and prevention perspective of Mizoram. Sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rajkumar Giridhari, convener of the program. And I would apologize that I have not had the first 2 speakers because we had some meeting I have attended, but I have had a very fruitful presentation from Madam Vandana and just before me, Mr. Vinit Kumar. Thank you very much for the enlightening presentation. And a very good afternoon to all the panelists, the organizers, the sponsor and the viewers. I am extremely delighted to be a part of this auspicious occasion which the Mizoram University has organized. I am grateful for being invited as one of the panelists for this important topic. Cybercrime, as we all know, has greatly affected all sections of the society, right from children to adult, experts, and even highly intellectual people. And I think due to some technical problem, I could not show my presentation, but Anyway, I'll be speaking on on the presentation which I have here with me. So please bear with me. So as we have heard from Mr. Vinit, the number of cybercrime users are growing like anything. Like in Mizoram, we have, as of now, we have around 10.5 lakh subscribers, mobile subscribers in Mizoram. So even though the population of Mizoram is very small compared to other parts of the country, but we are very vulnerable to cybercrime. So I'll be covering some of the important aspects of cybercrime that are prevailing in Mizoram, and I will be emphasizing my presentation with special reference to Mizoram. And I may be repeating some of the topics which have been covered earlier, but it will be mainly concentrating on the context of Mizoram. Like as we know, in my previous speaker has also spoken about the advancement of technology. The internet, as we know, in India is growing like anything, and that same thing is prevailing in Mizoram also. So, like I will not be covering the statistics about the number of internet users and all that was covered earlier, but we know that the number of users are growing every second, and technology, the information technology, has reached each and every corner of the world. And the world, as they say, has now become a global village. Anything, as Mr. Vinit says, that anything that is connected to the internet, that can be hacked. So you and I can be a victim. Nobody is spared in this cybercrime. So like in Mizoram also, the number of mobile subscribers is increasing like anything. The population, as per the 2011 census in Mizoram, is around 11 lakhs, approximately 11 lakhs. As on to date, the number of mobile subscriber is 10.5 lakhs, which is more than 90% of the population. So it is a very big challenge for the law enforcement agency, like the police force like us. So I will not go in detail about the definition of cybercrime because it has been covered earlier, that the impact of internet in India, in the world, as well as Mizoram is so much that there have been lots of losses to the victim. So in a simple way, like what they have said is cybercrime, any attack on the information systems, any attack on the information system using a computer or any other kind of electronic gadgets which is against the law of the land, that can be defined as, that can be considered as a cybercrime. There's cybercrime that can involve criminal activities that are traditional in nature, like theft, fraud, forgery, defamation, and mischief. And I would like to say that there has been a sharp increase over the last few years in the commission of cybercrime. And I'll just share some of the statistics. But before that, since the topic and the theme mainly concentrate on the cybercrime against women, I would say that women and children are very vulnerable for this cybercrime, because as we know, women, they may be a parent, they may be from a professionals, they may be a general user, and most of us are using these social networking sites that are connecting with each and every one of us. So through this social networking, we are sharing our ideas and views and other things, and people are using this social media as a tool for making profit, for spreading their business through these things. But at the same time, we are very vulnerable to this cybercrime. So most of the cybercrime that we have come across in Mizoram, I'll just highlight, like in 2009, we have come across these cybercrime cases in Mizoram. We have registered a number of cases. Like in 2009, we have 2 cases. At that point of time, it may seems to be a very less cases, but it is growing like anything. Like 2010, it has gone to 3. Like in 2020, till October, we have 19 cases registered in Mizoram. The number of cases registered may be small compared to other parts of the country, but this is the number of cases, the number of FIR which are registered in the police station. But there are hundreds of cases which are reported to the police station every year. Like in 2015, we have around 320 odd cases that are reported to the police. 2016, we have 403. 2017, we have more than 200. Likewise, it is growing like anything. So we can say that cybercrime is growing in Mizoram. What are the types of cybercrime cases that we have come across in Mizoram? I will not go in detail, but I'll just highlight some of the common cases which we have come across in Mizoram. Like the most common cases is the misuse of social media. Misuse of social media, the number of cases which have been reported to the police, which we have come across in Mizoram, is majority of them are misuse of social media. Then we have identity theft, we have cyberbullying, we have case of publishing of obscene materials, publishing of obscene objects, and we have a defamation case, fake profile cases, email scam, lottery scam, SMS scam, harassment, financial fraud, software and music piracy. So those are the main cybercrime cases which we have come across in Mizoram. And the medium used for committing these cybercrime cases are mainly, which have been covered earlier in by earlier speakers, like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, mobile phone, online gaming, Google, online shopping site like Myntra, IndiaMart, and other sites. So some of the cases which we have come across in Mizoram, I'll just go one by one in some of the cases, the case study, I'll just say, like email hacking. There are many reports of email hacking and spoofing in Mizoram. The email account, they are hacked by hackers, and some of them which they have reported to the police, after they have come to the police, they have asked the assistance of the police, and some of them have through this email account hacking, they have lost lakhs of rupees. So that is one way the hackers are trying to victimize some of us. So we have to be very careful. Like Mr. Vinit has pointed out, that the account, the password has to be very, very strong. Otherwise, our email account is very much vulnerable to these hackers. So they will be sending out malicious address. They will be extorting money from the victim. Obscene materials will be sent to the people. Blackmailing, bullying, harassment will go on. So these are the very common cases which we have come across in Mizoram. Another case is fake profile cases. One very interesting cases I'll just highlight. I'll not disclose the identity of the victim, but a student in a particular school has created a fake profile of women, that is the teacher, on a Facebook. So the profile displays her correct name and contact information. That is the correct name and contact information of the teacher. And sometimes even in that fake Facebook profile, the photograph of the teacher was also there sometimes. So the profile describes her as a prostitute. The profile describes her as a woman of loose character and who wants to have sexual relations with anyone or some kind of things. So that came to know that by the teacher, and that has created a lot of harassment for the victim and also defames her in the society. Mizoram, as we know, is a close-knit society. with a very few population compared to other parts of the country. So within a few days, she was defamed like anything. So she came to the police. We investigate the case, and we came to know that the culprit, the one who has done the fake profile, was her student only. So the student did create that fake profile on the Facebook to take revenge on her teacher, because he reported that he was embarrassed in the class or something like that. So this is a kind of a defamation case which is against the Information Technology Act, and it has been covered in the IPC also. I think the earlier speaker has already covered. I will not go into deep into that. So that kind of fake profile cases is very common in Mizoram. And some people also created fake profile to create a kind of a racial discrimination or a communal hatred, to spread communal hatred among the people. So this very common. And other case, very common cases, which I think all of us has also may have come across to that. That is a lottery email scam or SMS scam. Here, in this lottery scam, like many of us have reached an SMS that you have won £1 million from UK or something like that. So that kind of email or SMS have been sent by the culprit, all by the fraudsters. So the victim, not knowing that he has been cheated or he has been lured by some hackers, the victim will start furnishing all his credentials, all his informations to the culprit through maybe through SMS, maybe through email. So the fraudster keeps on chatting, keeps on communicating with the victim, and he'll start asking for money, asking for a registration fees, for a document fees, something on that line. So the victim start depositing money. He believes that he has really won that money and started giving full information and even money to the victim to some bank account which have been provided by the fraudsters. So after losing large amount of money, the victim realized that he or she has been cheated, and then he comes to the police for help. So that is another interesting cases which we have come across. And another case which we have is email scam. It is almost same like email hacking of email or spoofing of email. Here also the suspect creates email account in a fictitious names and send out millions of fraudulent emails using maybe powerful spam software. Then the suspect, the fraudster, he will convince the victim, and he'll ask and he'll start extorting money from the victim. So that is these scams, email scams, lottery scams, these are mainly done because of their motive is for financial gain only. And we have come across many people who have lost lakhs of rupees in this kind of cases. And another case, in very interesting cases which we have not very there are not many cases, but there are few cases which we have come across is cyber pornography. Cyber pornography is as we know is one of the largest business in internet world. So the suspects accept online payment and allows the customer to view and download pornographic pictures, videos, and this etc. from some illegal website. So this is also done for illegal financial gain. And one very important things which I want to point out in this aspect is that some people knowingly, intentionally also used to take their own photographs, maybe a naked photograph of theirs, and will pass on that photographs to some of the suspects. So they will start blackmailing, and through that they will try to gain lots of money by blackmailing the victims. So this is another case which we have come across. And another thing is cyber stalking. Here we have come across a case of cyber stalking cases in Mizoram also. Here I would like to inform the viewers maybe that we should be very, very careful with while we are chatting in the Facebook, email, or whatever online chatting which we have done, and we should never send our photograph maybe to unknown people, because they can use this later on for blackmailing us. So we have to be very careful on that. And we have come across financial frauds like OTP frauds, QR code frauds, those kind of things. I'll not go in very detail into that. And another very important cybercrime cases which we have come across in Mizoram is cyberbullying case. So in cyberbullying, the victims are mainly women and children or college-going students. In various schools in Mizoram also, we have come across this cyberbullying case where the students are being victimized by their seniors or by outsiders or something like that. So this is a very important thing which people should be aware of, that we should be take precautions from being bullied in the net, in the social media. So cyberbullying, as we know, can include teasing, spreading rumors online, sending unwanted messages, threatening, defamating the victim, and all other things. And other cybercrime cases which we have come across is music piracy, software piracy. So those are another common cases which we have come across. Then another interesting thing I want to share with the viewers is like there are variants of Nigerian scam. They are calling it as a Nigerian scam. It may be employment scam. It may be a lottery scam, like I have discussed earlier. It can be a romance scam also. Here, very employment scam. Here, the fraudster, the scammers will target people who have posted their resumes on the job sites. So here the scammer sends a letter with a falsified company logo and other things, and they will seek the details, the detailed information from the victims. In this way also, they have been lured, and lots of cases have been filed. Another thing is romance scam. This is very interesting. Here, I would say that many of the women, especially the women, are a victim in this romance scam. And some of them have even lost around 10, 20, 50 lakhs, which are reported, which we have received as being a law enforcement agency. Here, the con artist approaches the victim on an online dating service. He may send an instant messenger or in a social networking site. Then the scammer claims an interest in the victim. He will post pictures of a very attractive person, and the scammer uses his communication skill to gain the confidence of a particular person or a victim. Then he will start asking for money. He will, the con artist may claim to be interested in meeting the victim. He needs cash to travel on a plane, to rent a room in a hotel, to pay for personal travel expenses, such and such, that he is very eager to meet the victim, such and such. So the victim, having faith and confidence in the scammers, in the fraudsters, started depositing money to the bank account. So that way, he or she is being cheated. So that is another romance scam which we have come across recently also here in the Aizawl, the capital city of Mizoram also. So that it is a very, very common cases which we have come across. And another very interesting is, I don't know whether this has been detected in other case or not. in other states or not. This is selling of bank account passbook. See, people, particularly students, college-going students who have gone outside the state of Mizoram, in other parts of the country for higher studies, they will have their own bank account in their own name. So the people, through some mediators, some intermediaries, they will try to buy this bank account, bank details, or the passbook from a particular students. So later on, what happened is these people, these fraudsters, they are using this passbook, this bank account, for cheating people, for taking money from the victims, So this is also a very important thing which I would like to share with the viewer also, that our children, our brothers, or our relatives may go outside the state for seeking for higher studies. They might have their own account, so they should never sell their bank account details or a passbook or whatever is there to anybody, because later on what happened is that these cyber criminals, they will start collecting money through this bank account. So once FIR is submitted to the police station or to the police, and once the investigation starts, so the first one whom the police have to catch hold of is the account holder. So the account holder here is very innocent. He doesn't have any knowledge about the scam, about what the criminals have committed through the internet. But he or she can be the first person whom the police has to arrest, to go deep into the case. So we have to be very careful. So I'll also request all the viewers to share this, to pass on these things to their relatives, to their children, or whoever is there, that never share your bank account details, or never sell your bank accounts or a passbook to people, because they may use this account, your own account, to cheat people, and later on you'll end up in trouble. And I have seen that innocent students have been put in jail in some states also. So these are the important cases I can cover in Mizoram. Like the prevention part, I think most of the speakers earlier have already covered. I'll just repeat some of the preventive measures which they have already highlighted. Like, we should use antivirus software, we should use firewall, we should uninstall unnecessary software from our mobile phone, maybe from our desktop, from our laptop, or whatever. And we should always maintain a backup of our data, of our personal data. And we should always check security settings. See, most of us are using social media, maybe a Facebook. Now the common cases is a WhatsApp. They have their own security settings, privacy settings, and we should make the best use of that security settings. Otherwise, we can be a victim at any point of time. So we have to be very careful. So we have to check our security settings all the time. Like Mr. Vinit has already pointed out, that we need to update our apps, our software, or whatever is there, even our own antivirus. And we should never ever share our details, our informations to strangers. See, internet, as we know, because anybody can be on the net. We can be connected to anybody. So maybe some people, some attractive persons, they may post with very attractive photographs, asking for friends or something like that. But we should be very, very careful here. We should never give our full name, our full address to any strangers. And the best thing is not to have a friend which we don't know. That is the best way to be safe from this thing. And another thing is like the internet privacy. We should learn more about that. We should and like very important thing is we should not give our personal details of or our whereabouts. Like people used to post on the Facebook that they have been out of station, they have been gone on a holidays or something like that. So people keep on following us. So they may try a way out to cheat us or to commit some kind of criminal intentions to us. And we should never post our photographs, videos, and any other sensitive information to unknown persons. That is very, very important. In this way, we can prevent cybercrime from being committed, or we can prevent ourselves from being victimized by fraudsters. And we should always, now online shopping is very common due to COVID pandemic. Also nowadays, I think we have even more people go for online shopping. So we should always perform online shopping through secure websites only. We should be very careful in this. And I will suggest that we should prefer cash on delivery. That is a very, very important thing also. And we should always keep our computer, a laptop, or whatever system which are our operating system should be updated regularly. And we should never save our payment details. We are doing online payment, something like that. We should never save these things. Even through, we may use our own desktop, laptop, or whatever, mobile phone or something like that, but we should never save our payment details. And we should be very careful of emails which we have received. We should not just click on the link or whatever is provided, and we should use strong password as they have already identified. And we should know that one thing I'd like to add here is that even highly intellectual people, even those whom we think that they cannot be cheated, are also cheated by these lottery scams, that you have won 10 million pounds or something like that. So we should never believe in this kind of things, that we will earn such kind of huge money in a second or something like that. So we should always ensure that we access to secure websites. And I should say that selling of our bank details, selling of our bank accounts, selling of our bank passbooks, these things should be avoided. So these are the things which I can cover in this brief presentation which I have. Sorry that I could not share my presentation with you, but later on maybe I can send to Mr. G also. Thank you very much for that. Any?
To avoid all the cyber crimes and related issues. And some of the experience that you share is a very learning experience for most of the audience out here. This would be an example for them in order to avoid any cybercrime in future. So there's one question which I think you can answer it. Is it unsafe to link email ID and Facebook ID with the mobile phone number? I repeat the question. Is it unsafe to link email ID and Facebook ID with the mobile phone number? Any advice?
I mean your own mobile number.
Yeah, I think.
See, it is not unsafe. You can share your you can link your mobile number, but the precautions which you have to take while accessing to the internet, like the Facebook, your email ID, like strong passwords, those things should be secure enough. And you should use the best use of the privacy settings and the security settings. There is no harm in sharing your own mobile number with that. That is from my experience.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Like, it was enlightening to listen to the experiences as a police officer and the one who deal with cyber crimes in Mizoram. Thank you so much. We have almost come to the end of the technical session, so we'll just finish the webinar with a small valedictory function. So we'll just have an observation. I would like to request my colleague in the department, Professor L.S. Sharma, sir, to give some concluding remark and observation of the webinar before I give the formal vote of thanks, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Giridhari Singh. First of all, good afternoon to all the panel members as well as the participants. And this has been a very, very interesting and a lot of learnings that have taken place from morning onwards. And I'm very much happy to be a part of this webinar entitled Cybercrime Against Women, Precautions and Strategies, in collaboration with National Commission for Women, New Delhi. With the permission of Honorable Vice Chancellor KRS Sambasiva Rao and the eminent panelists, faculty members from the department, participants, and my dear colleagues and friends. I'd just like to give a brief report of what has happened today. But before going that, I just also like to say a few things of what my experience is about. Especially dealing with the security in the cyberspace. In fact, Mr. Binit Kumar has also said there is no free lunch in life. And indeed, we have to remember this in our life, in any kind of activities. And in fact, there is no free lunch. So whenever we get any kind of emails or messages which are very, very enticing, which looks kind of very much profitable, one has to always remember that there is no free lunch. And if you're thinking about that, I'm going to get something out of this, one is always vulnerable to become a victim. And we have to be very, very careful about this. We have to follow the norms of our own security. For example, when we are at home, we ensure that our doors and windows are always closed. When we are moving out, we ensure that our houses is properly locked. And the same thing happens with the kind of technology that we're using now. And one of the important things is that we have to learn how to lock ourselves and how we have to be secure ourselves. One of the major problems that we're facing right now, and because of the pandemic also, is the connections that we're having and the kind of linkages that we're having through internet. At one point of time, we as parents did not allow our children to play with the mobile phones, but now we are giving them the mobile phones to be connected for education. And it's an irony. And of course, we are the one who has to ensure that they do not fall into the victims of these possible entices. So looking into the view of all these things, we had proposed this webinar, and we felt that this is an appropriate topic which needs to be sensitized to the participants to a larger extent. And I do feel that we have selected a very good topic. And we have tried to look in from different perspectives as well. First of all, we have looked in from the legal side, and I would like to thank our panelist, Dr. Yumnam Premananda Singh, Head Department of Law, Manipur University, to talk on about the current state of Indian laws, which deals with the prevention as well as control of cyber crimes, and especially towards women. There are several, he has looked into several issues, things like the Information Technology Act, the amendments which are being made to that act, and of course, various others acts which are related to cybercrime. I'd like to thank Dr. Yumnam for presenting a wonderful presentation, looking into the deliberating onto the legal aspects of cybercrime, especially against women. The second paper presentation was on data privacy and women's safety, which was deliberated by Professor Devnad Haldar from the Department of Legal Studies, United College of Law, Karnavati University. The panelists had especially looked into the safeguard of the identity of the victims in the last part of the presentation, and how the victimized person has to be safeguarded was more looked into. And of course, there were several deliberations on data privacy and so on. The third panelist was into the concept of zero trust in cyber world. And the zero trust security concept generally is dealing with how to allow access, whether to trust or not to trust into the system of an organization, and how the verification needs to be done, or whether to trust or not to trust until verified before granting access into that system. So, in fact, what I do feel is that the concept of double security, like, for example, logging into our websites with the second access point through the mobile phone, getting an OTP and so on, I think these are the perspectives which has been delivered into. And several upcoming ideas were also focused on this. The fourth paper, the fourth presentation was on cyber peace and cyber security, and Mr. Vinit Kumar had Mr. Vinit Kumar from Cyber Peace Foundation, New Delhi, has dealt with several areas and which are very much of high learning, and I'm sure our participants, especially our students, might have learned a lot of things out here. Talked about things like WannaCry, then the internet chore bazaars, the denial of services, DDoS attacks, the what you call stealing the credentials of an individual, and these are some of the things which has been dealt on. And in fact, if I remember, just a few weeks ago, there was a case of online pedophile, especially coming out from India, and which was being caught with some of the operators from the foreign countries, and how it has even come to pedophile activities in India. So these are the things which has been dealt with, and of course, how to deal with these things are also has been explained. I'm sure there is a lot of learning from his deliberations. Our last speaker, Pu Zosang Liana, MPS and AIG from the government of Mizoram, who had discussed about the cybercrime incidents and preventions, the perspectives of Mizoram, dealt with the several case studies which has happened in Mizoram. And although the state might be quite small in population, but the number of access is as comparable as any other states in India. Mr. Josang Liana has also given several advices, what to do, what not to do, and how to safeguard yourself, and especially has given a good mention about the selling of defunct bank accounts, especially students who might be studying in Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, and so on, to be aware of these things, that whenever they have finished their studies, in thinking that getting a few amount of money is much better, might even bring about things which are unwanted in future, because these accounts might be used for money laundering cases as well as other activities. So what I meant to say as earlier, enticing may become any kind of enticement may become a victim. So overall, I feel that the whole webinar has been highly invigorative, and there has been a lot of learning that has taken place, and I'm sure in future we will able to held such kind of webinars more in future also. So all kudos to Dr. R.K. Giridhari Singh, as well as to the Department of Management for organizing such a wonderful webinar, and thanks for all the participation also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So that was a good observation regarding the today's webinar, and sir has quoted some of the deliberation that has been discuss today on this five panel experts. This very renowned in on field. I'm very thankful to all the resource persons of today as well as the audience. So before I give my formal vote of thanks, I would like to announce to all the participants that all of you, those who have registered and attended this webinar, would be getting the e-certificate. E-certificate would be given in 15 days, in 15 days time. So those who have registered and attended the webinar, you would be getting your certificate in your email ID. Thank you, all of you. So now, as a convener of this webinar, I would like to propose board of things. First of all, as always, I would like to thank my sincere appreciation to National Commission for Women, New Delhi, for giving us a chance to host this particular webinar on a very on a very pertinent topic, such as cybercrime against women, precaution and strategies. So thank you, National Commission for Women, for giving us a chance to host this particular webinar. Next, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our own Vice Chancellor, Professor KRS Sambasiva Rao, who have consented to be the chief guest in the inaugural function. Sir has been very dynamic and very able leadership in guiding us in all the university activities. Under his leadership, only university is able to achieve remarkable academic excellence. Thank you, sir, for sparing your time and giving us a chance to be in the inaugural function with you. Next, I would like to thank my appreciation for our own Dean, Professor R.K. Motin Kumar, for sparing his valuable time in the morning and sharing us about this webinar and giving us the encouragement to the department as a academic head of this school. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to put my sincere appreciation for my own colleague, as well as head Department of Management, Dr. Amit Kumar Singh, under whose leadership only we're motivated to host this show of events, as well as many other activities in the department. Thank you, Dr. Amit Kumar Singh. Next, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to my colleague, Dr. Lal Ropui, Assistant Professor, Department of Management, who has delivered a very beautiful board of thanks in inaugural address. Next, I would like to extend my colleague, Professor L.S. Sharma, senior most professor in the department, who has been mentor to me personally as well as to the department, who is kind enough, to spare his time and participate actively in this particular webinar. Next, I would like to extend to all the participants who are sparing their valuable time and listening to this very pertinent topics on cyber crimes. I would like to put on record my special appreciation to all the experts. First of all, to Dr. Inam Premananda Singh, a good friend of mine, as well as for the Department of Management, who has been closely associated with the department in terms of many seminars and conferences happened in the department in the past. So he's now the head and associate professor, Department Law, Manipur University. Thank you, sir, for delivering your topic into this webinar. Next, I would like to thank Professor Devarati Halder. Madam has spoken on data privacy and women's safety. Madam has a remarkable achievement in terms of this cyber safety, especially on women and child. So he's almost like an authority in terms of commitment that he has done in terms of the effort she has put in different journals as well as different writers and presenting lectures in many forums. Thank you, madam. Next, Ms. Bandana Burma. She is the founder, president of InfoSec Girls, as well as the founder for Bangalore. She is based in Bangalore. She has spoken on Zero Trust in Cyber World. Thank you, madam. Next, I would like to put on record my sincere appreciation for Benit. Sir has spoken on cyber peace and cyber security. That was a very informative session. So thank you so much, sir. Again, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks toward Pu Josang Liana, MPS, Manipur Police Service, Sir has been kind enough that on my personal request, Sir has given his consent despite his busy schedule as a police officer. So out of his duty, we are able to get some input from his experiences in today's webinar. Thank you so much, sir. We expect that all the experts who are present today would be, extending his own hand in future conferences, webinars, meetings, and talks wherever department are in need of. Thank you, all of you. So with this, I think it's time to say bye-bye so that we can meet for another events and conferences in future. Thank you all, one and all.